It seems that it is now ahead of time. Queens, New York. After leaving Tony, Su Zaicheng went back to the villa directly. The apartment was bombed, and this was the only place left for him to live in for the time being. After such a trip, after arriving in the city, looking for Tony, and saving Happy, Su Zaicheng remembered that it was almost dark, and he hadn't had a bite yet. Take off the hunter suit and throw it into the space. Su Zaicheng went straight to the refrigerator, skillfully took 2 slices of bread, spread jam on it, and after Jiali left, there was basically no need to replenish the contents of the refrigerator. Thinking of this, Su Zaicheng even thought about that little girl. Although he can also eat and drink with her, even though he bought it himself. However, with Jiali around, her quality of life has obviously improved a lot. Brother Galactus, after solving the problem, I still need to send Gali back. There is a lost hunter waiting to comfort me. I am afraid that only Su Zaicheng dared to think about it. Not thinking about it, Su Zaicheng kneaded the bread with one hand and turned on the TV with the other. Then he lay lazily on the sofa, originally wanted to watch some programs to make up for the regret that his home was bombed, but when he turned on the TV, it was the global live broadcast again. Su Zaicheng wondered, how come the hackers in the United States have nothing to do, and the satellites will be hacked if they say it is black? Are these politicians just eating nothing? If so, wouldn't it be possible for any terrorist with evil plans to control the United States? Threatening yourself with your own big baby is worse than eating a dead fly. Even if you watch TV, you have to force it to play. When I get a chance, I also learn about these high-tech things, Su Zaicheng said to himself. This guy, if he can crack it at will and control some big treasures, it's a good idea to think about it. That being said, the picture on the TV has attracted Su Zaicheng's attention. If you look carefully, isn't that right? Is it Tony Stark's Seaview Villa? An arc, a sign similar to a capital letter A. Su Zaicheng recognized at a glance that this was Tony's house, and then, the previous scene happened. Under a missile with a long exhaust, the beautiful and majestic building just disappeared. It's a pity for anyone who sees it. After turning off the TV, Su Zaicheng didn't think about those messy things. He wants to sleep soundly now, and then he will go to Tennessee tomorrow. According to the plot, it should be the hiding place of Mandarin, but it is just a fake. Although he knew that there might be nothing, Su Zaicheng still plans to go there. Maybe there will be unexpected gains, he said. The scene of Tony being tied up and beaten up appeared in Su Zaicheng's mind, and he couldn't help snickering. Tony, you said you wouldn't hire me, it wasn't my bad idea. Meanwhile, New York State, AIM. This is the company of Gilly Amber. Mr. Keely Amber. You're back, how's it going? 7. Razed to the ground, but Tony's body was never found. Okay, let's go to the next task. If anyone sees someone coming, they will definitely be surprised. Isn't this brawny man with a haircut the same guy who flew a plane to blow up Tony in the afternoon? Isn't Tony provoking Mandarin? Why did he get involved with Killian again? In fact, all these are not in conflict. The Mandolin is directed by Mr. Gilly Amber, and the Mandarin is just a cover pulled up by Killian to cover up the truth. As the saying goes, is the tricky rabbit 3 holes? If I do bad things with peace of mind, someone has to take the blame. If Su Zaicheng hadn't come here through time travel and knew the depth of the water in the Marvel world, he might have been fooled by this Mandarin. First, Harold Mitchard was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and now there is another chapter, Aldridge Killian. I really don't know if it is a common problem of villains, or I really think those big shots are stupid. And, if you look into Killian's room, you will be able to know the truth. Isn't the set scene in there the one that has been forced to air throughout the United States telecast these days? Killian bombed Tony for a reason. But it's a long story. To put it simply, it is a time when a poor boy, relying on his fledgling company, managed to squeeze into the academic seminar of Tony Stark, whom he admired for a long time, and was willing to share his final developed project with him. Because Tony snubbed him with a casual remark. In this way, a seed of hatred took root in Killian's heart and continued to grow. It can be said that, in this way, a demon was born by Tony. It can be seen that Killian hated Tony deeply. Although it doesn't sound like Killian's hatred. Because Tony's inadvertent words affected a small character, facing the already very powerful Stark group, Killian vowed to let Tony also taste that kind of taste, being easily trampled under his feet, and he doesn't have to think about his life or death. Over the years, Killian swallowed his anger and used the technology in his hand to develop a virus that can change human DNA to create mutant, and a more evil plan was launched. Wearing a white coat, Mandarin sneered, picked up a plate and walked behind him, and followed Mandarin into the studio, where there was actually a person tied up. 10 women. Both hands and feet are fixed on an iron bracket, bound in a standing position. The man had something stuffed in his mouth, and when he saw Killian walk in, his emotions suddenly became agitated. Woo 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 woo. She shook the bracket vigorously, and her mouth could only make a whimpering sound because it was blocked. Both eyes were red, as if begging Killian to let her go. "Don't worry. This is the last time, and you will be free soon." Saying that, Killian pushed the syringe in the tray into her body. However, just after the unknown liquid was injected into her body, the woman glared instantly, because she was only wearing a vest, and her exposed skin turned red in an instant. It seems that there is magma flowing there, and every blood vessel protrudes high, and the red magma seems to burst out of the body in the next second. It took less than 10 seconds from the time the medicine was injected. The temperature in the room was rising at a terrifying speed. After a while, a critical point was reached, and only a bang was heard. The woman exploded. Killian didn't dodge at all, letting the magma fall on him. However, the place where the magma was burned unexpectedly also revealed a red light, and then slowly healed. This is not difficult to explain. No matter how the FBI or even investigated, they couldn't find the cause of the explosion. Because it's a human bomb. Did it fail? Huh, what a pity. Seeing a living person die in front of him, Killian was expressionless, and even enjoyed it a little. After finishing speaking coldly, he turned around and went to another laboratory. Similarly, there is still a person tied inside. The difference is that this time it is just a man in his prime. In the same way, inject the virus. Sure enough, after the injection, the man also became hot all over, with blue veins bursting out and appearing the color of magma. Opening his mouth, a dazzling white light even came out. However, the same explosion did not occur this time. Even, looking at his arm, the originally empty arm slowly grew a new arm. Not bad, not bad, finally another success. It seems that the explosion caused by the dose problem can be ruled out. Killian said lightly. It seems that the person in front of him is not a person, but a fish on the chopping board at his mercy. If Tony had been there, his jaw would have dropped on the spot. What is this doing? This is using the human body as an experimental product. This is creating the ultimate mutant unit. What does Killian want to do? The implication is obvious. This is to rule the world. Over an unknown farm in Tennessee, a flickering photoelectric light kept flickering. Looking carefully, it seemed to be an unknown flight object, fluctuating high and low, as if it was about to fall down at any time. Sure enough, not long after, there was only a bang, and the thing fell all over the snow. Unknowingly, Su Zaicheng has been in the Marvel world for a few months. The winter in the United States is extremely cold. Before Christmas, it started to snow heavily. Unlike the snowflakes in China, the snow in the United States there are extraordinarily many, because it means to cover up the entire New York state. Su Zaicheng also stood by the bed without incident, looking out the window, where it was already covered with white snow. The whole world is gray. Letting the snowflakes fall on his face, a trace of coolness spread through the skin into his mind. Although Su Zaicheng just scored 300 physical points, he still has this sensory organ. Closing the window, Su Zaicheng knew that there should be someone in this Long Chong Yi who is not so beautiful. To be precise, he is a little embarrassed. Looking at the farm in Tennessee, an iron lump flew from nowhere and fell into the snow. The armor was red and yellow, and the whole body was in tatters. It seemed that it should be experienced. A battle, isn't it, Iron Man, Tony Stark? Ah, oh shit, it hurts. Where is this, sir? It's 5 kilometers away from Tennessee. Shit. Is this my order? I didn't give such an order. I can't save Pepper. Sir, I've run out of fuel, and I seem to be hurt a little. Open the armor. Yes, sir. Tony stood up slowly, resting his forehead. Suddenly, it was discovered that this place was actually snow. He was still in the air-conditioned room of the villa a few hours ago, and now he has been reduced to the point of being homeless. You must know that he is still wearing short sleeves now. Oh shit, it's cold, I think I'd better wear it. Sorry sir, I have to go to bed. It seems that in that explosion, Tony didn't get the slightest benefit. It can even be said that he was taught a lesson. Although Tony didn't seem to be seriously injured, it was a missile attack, and he exploded next to him. Tony doesn't have Su Zaicheng's terrifying defense. It can be so strong that it can ignore missile attacks. At this moment, Tony almost lost his mind and drowned in the sea. Don't think there's anything wrong in general, but with his bruised nose and swollen face, no one will believe that this man is the Iron Man that everyone praises. Now, it's not just for happy. If Tony doesn't get back on the scene, he'll probably be used as a joke in Avengers. Thinking of Thor and the way the big soldier laughed at him, Tony was even more angry at the moment. Fortunately, had already entered the address of Tennessee into the Mark 42 armor, so Tony escaped from death and flew directly to Tennessee with him. It's just that, flying this way, first it endured the explosion, and then it saved Tony in the deep sea, not to mention flying such a long distance it's a pile of scrap metal. Tony rubbed his forehead, opened his eyes and looked around, finally got rid of the explosion, and ended up like this again. Looking around, only to find a bright place in the distance. No matter what you do, you have to charge the armor first. With short messy hair on his head, Tony ignored his bruised nose and swollen face, dragging the armor and striding towards the place where the light was on. According to the development of the Marvel plot, Su Zaicheng could already guess what was going to happen next. Unsurprisingly, it should be that Tony met his fanatical little fan Harry, and then the information provided by Harry found AIM, the base of Gilly Amber, and learned that in the middle of Leon's conspiracy, he even killed Killian's subordinate, Severn, who was also a reformer. Su Zaicheng lay on the bed tossing and turning and couldn't fall asleep. He didn't know if he couldn't fall asleep because he suddenly thought of Jiali just now or because he was too energetic because of the meditation technique he just learned. Oh, what a mess, I can't sleep anyway, let's go shopping. The mall opened, and the green attribute panel appeared again. The current grades are as follows. Host, Su Zaicheng. Physical fitness. 300 hunter level. B ability. King Kong's indestructible body LV.5, swordsmanship IV.4, copy I IV.3, absolute hit IV.3, Hawkeye LV.3, mind control LV.4, shadow stealth version 3, mind reading dangerous perception self-healing meditation teleportation, 12/15. Equipment. Hunter suit, +25, elemental bow, +25. White snake bow, +5, tracking paper cranes, 2, curse blood, knife, +10. Mall balance. 4.8425 billion. Looking at the series of skill and equipment columns on the attribute panel, there are so many zero balances. Su Zaicheng suddenly felt more at ease. Think about the embarrassing soul when he just traveled to the Marvel world. Tens of thousands of meters of knives can make him happy for a long time. The first order he still remembers is worth 50. Now, if you don't give me 500.8 billion, look at the shot. Moreover, from the beginning of the workplace rookie to now is almost a qualified and successful bounty hunter. At least on Earth, there is no need to worry about the danger of life for the time being. However, it is unfounded to worry. Not having it now does not mean not having it in the future. Strength is something that should be improved as soon as possible, in case one day. What kind of purple sweet potato essence, planet devourer? These level universe bosses. What kind of divine body? What kind of titan physique? Because of Su Zaicheng's reason, this already undercurrent surging Marvel world is even more perilous. By then, if you are thinking about working hard, it will be too late. Thinking of this, Su Zaicheng became cruel, and the system added another 2 to 15 points to his physique. The system also responds, and the system responds really quickly when it comes to money. Your physique has reached 300 current physique. Yes, no boost. I'll go, it's too expensive. After reaching 300, it will cost 150 million for a little physique. It's really killing me. The money I've worked so hard to earn is not enough to improve my physique. Su Zaicheng feels like vomiting blood. Why did Thor and Loki have god-level physiques from birth, and the titan physique of the purple sweet potato? At the current price, if you want to upgrade to the point where you are not afraid of space, you may not be able to get it without 1,000 or trillion. 25 points of constitution, 115 million, with a 20% discount for B-level hunters, that's the master of 1.9 billion. Grandmas, plus, sure, come on. Su Zaicheng is cruel, the body is the capital of the revolution. I am afraid of death, I am cowardly. If you have the ability, break through my defenses. Ding. Deduct 3.9 billion, host's current physique, 325, god-level physique 1/8. Originally, Su Zaicheng also wanted to see if he could upgrade other skills, but recently he felt that some skills were a little out of date, although they may still be useful on Earth. Thinking, suddenly, something behind the physique attracted his attention. God-level physique, I'll go, I'm going to become a god? Not to mention, when the system deducted 3.9 billion just now, my body really felt a little numb, which is a feeling I didn't have when I improved my physique before. Looking at the skin, one could faintly see some golden veins emerging and then disappearing. 1/8, that is to say, 500 physique is a big test, and 400 physique is almost half god. Counting it all together, little Spider-Man has almost tens or even hundreds of tons of punch in the later stage, which is stronger than me now, not weaker. That is to say, even little Spider-Man has a demigod physique in the late stage, terrifying. It's just that there is still a gap between a half-body-god and a god. Otherwise, why Thor can survive in the universe naked and can withstand the power of the universe? Why does little Spider-Man have to rely on armor? A demigod can't breathe in the universe. Hey, after all, he's just a false god. But thinking of this, Su Zaicheng still felt a little heartbroken. After finally earning so much money, it was gone before it was squandered. It is really hard to earn. The demigod is also a god. It has finally reached the critical point, and there is still a goal. I should be happy, but... Why can't I be happy? However, after spending nearly 4 billion, Su Zicheng was honest, and quickly closed the attribute panel, closed them all, and resisted the desire to buy again. Originally, the more than 4 billion yuan was intended for emergency use in the future, but after spending so much all of a sudden, I still feel a little guilty in my heart. Although it is my own hard-earned money, it is a bit sneaky to spend it now. This is not to blame on Su Zicheng. As a time traveler, Su Zicheng knows that since the last alien war, a new round of war should not be too long. Ultron guy is a tough nut to crack. Unlike entities, this thing can be regarded as a bunch of codes in the final analysis. Artificial intelligence cannot be solved by force. This also added to Su Zicheng's sense of crisis. Ultron is coming. Will the battle of infinite gems be far behind? So the most important thing at the moment is to improve your physique, in case purple sweet potato snaps your fingers, and you happen to be lucky enough to back it up, and suddenly disappear. Su Zicheng really has no place to cry. The family fortune he has worked so hard, can't it just go to waste like this? I don't know how many black stewed eggs are opened at a time, but I still have a little expectation. That is, 4.8425 billion, which turned into 942.5 million in the blink of an eye. Counting the 1 billion that Tony has not yet received because of saving Happy, this can be regarded as returning overnight. Before liberation, you said how eager Su Zicheng is for money now. It seems that when I have money, I really want to learn some high-tech things. Not only was it influenced by Ultron, today's terrorists hacking into the national TV communication also planted a small foreshadowing for Su Zicheng. Yay, spending money with peace of mind, spending so much all at once, Su Zicheng suddenly didn't dare to think about it, and went to bed quickly. Su Zicheng finally understands why women like to spend money so much, and the pleasure of watching zeros decrease is really indescribable. However, Su Zicheng can sleep peacefully, but some people may not be so lucky. Tonight is destined to be extraordinary. While the world was still mourning the loss of Tony Iron Man. At the moment, Tony has learned the truth of the whole matter. The armor of Mark 42 has been repaired and is charging. Because the energy required is huge, it will take some time for the armor to be fully charged. However, Tony, who is angry, has already I couldn't help it anymore. I'm also a technician. Some small weapons and small equipment are still at hand. After dawn, Tony planned to go to Rose Manor in Mandarin, Tennessee alone, and the little Pepper at the moment also understood because of Maya Hansen. However, it seems a bit late, because at this moment she doesn't know where Killian tied her up. On the other hand, Killian's ambition is gradually revealed. Another piece of news, a mafia leader who calls himself Mandarin is threatening the president live. That is Mandarin, the actor Killian hired, the scapegoat. Mr. President, this is not a joke. Do you think I am joking? No, since you like to hide and seek, come here. Look at this man. Do you know him? Guess who it would be? Haha. How about your good politician? I'm amazing. You have the right to save him. As long as you give up your position, you can save his life. How about it? Is it worth it? Think about it, you only have 10 seconds. On the TV is an old man with an airplane haircut and only an airplane hairstyle. Looking at his clothes, he looks like an ancient priest. The voice of the voice is yin and yang, and the side is surrounded by smoke. It is really a big boss. And far away in the White House in Washington, D.C., a group of people were nervously staring at the TV screen. Everyone didn't say a word, and the atmosphere suddenly became extremely tense. However, the people on the TV didn't care about it. Asterisk 109.321. Well, since you don't care, bye-bye. Pong, there was only a bang gunshot, and the clip on the TV came to an abrupt end. Bang. Damn, too much. This is provoking our entire United States. General James Rhodes, send me the Iron Patriot. I will see him tomorrow morning. In front of the square table, a middle-aged man in a suit slammed the table and ordered that he must be the leader of the United States, that is, the President of the United States. It's just that he didn't know that all of this was in the enemy's plan, but he didn't know that the Iron Patriot's trip happened to be a trick. Not only was General James Rhodes captured, but the Iron Patriot would also be used. What? Waking up early in the morning, Su Zicheng stretched himself, turned on the TV, took out a few pieces of bread from the refrigerator and threw them into the heater. Ever since he got into this business, Su Zicheng really doesn't settle for food. He can deal with it as soon as he can. It's obviously a luxury villa area, so it's completely possible for people to serve exquisite breakfasts in front of them. But Su Zicheng just didn't want to. He would rather eat bread with jam than wait a while for a big meal. Maybe this is time and money. While the bread was heating, Su Zicheng also started to wash. As soon as the toothpaste was squeezed out, I heard the voice on the TV. Mr. President, is there any connection between the death of Iron Man yesterday and the loss of contact with the Iron Patriot today? Excuse me, is there something going on in Washington? Also, who is Mandarin on TV? Don't worry, everyone, answer one by one. Seeing the reporters crowding up like ducks, the secretary of the president hurriedly stopped him. Su Zicheng didn't even need to read the news. Just listening to the news, he knew what happened last night. The plot was proceeding according to the original Marvel world line. With toothpaste still foaming in his mouth, Su Zicheng couldn't help but imagine. It seems that he can earn some extra money today. After tidying up, he ate a few pieces of bread casually. He didn't know whether it was because Jiali had left or she was tired of eating, but the bread was tasteless after chewing. He took out the equipment from the hunter space, put it on his body, and carried the +25 elemental bow on his back. The +10 cursed blood knife is also on his shoulders. No one loves the brim of the hat. Su Zicheng, who was still in place the next second, suddenly appeared at the door, and disappeared suddenly in the next second. When he appeared, he was already 100 meters away. This is teleportation, and the speed is terrifying. Definitely, this is also used by Su Zicheng to practice his hands, but he can't just teleport to Tennessee like this. The price of speed is mental power. If he teleports to the destination, he must not be exhausted. What? So, after blinking a few times, let's fly honestly. In fact, the speed of flight is not slow. For example, even if Tony is wearing the latest Mark 42 formal armor and moving at full speed, he may not be able to see the shadow of Su Zicheng. Moreover, compared to teleportation, it consumes much less mental power. It seems that looking for an opportunity, I still have to find a way to increase the upper limit of mental strength. Meditation can restore mental power, but it can't improve mental power. It's a pity. Because it was daytime, Su Zicheng didn't do so many bells and whistles, for example, using fire elements to make flame wings, or something. Although it is cool, it is eye-catching. If a plane passes by, it will not be regarded as an alien. It's fast and fast. From Queens to Rose Manor in Tennessee, it only takes 3 hours. This is much faster than flying, which may take 5 or 6 hours. Since learning this flight skill from Jiali, Su Zicheng has become more and more comfortable with it. It not only saves air tickets, but also makes it easier to do tasks back and forth. Depart at 8 o'clock in the morning, and arrive in 3 hours. The destination is exactly 11 o'clock at noon. There is no need to inquire at all. The mental power is sent out, Hawkeye opens, and the line of sight suddenly rises into the air. Fortunately, Tennessee is not very big. With a wide range of vision, you can accurately locate the Rose Manor in Mandarin with a few glances. With his vision retracted, and by the way, he used meditation to restore the mental power consumed by flying all the way, Su Zicheng went directly to the Rose Manor to hide. It's not that Su Zicheng didn't dare to fly in directly, but because of unnecessary trouble. After all, Su Zicheng came for Tony, not for these shrimp soldiers and crab generals, although it didn't take much effort to deal with them. However, as a bounty hunter, it is natural to pay attention to efficiency and goals, and to take shortcuts at all costs for the purpose. Besides, if you break in with great fanfare and solve everyone, how will you make extra money in a while? Presumably, at the moment, someone should have been tied up, and it just so happened that Su Zicheng, the savior, was about to arrive. Yo, isn't this Tony, the famous Iron Man? Remember who I am? Killian looked at the man hanging on the shelf like a dead pig with a sneer, not to mention how comfortable he was. After so many years of preparation, isn't it just waiting for this moment? Sorry, is like not remembering the taste of the cake made by the grandma next door. I don't remember you, although I have never eaten the cake she sent. Even if he was tied up, Tony never forgot his sense of humor. This sentence immediately choked Killian like shit. At the end of the day, Tony Stark still treats you like a little guy. It's okay if you don't know me, you should be interested in this. Killian smiled instead of anger, and took out a tablet with him. Isn't Pepper in the picture? In the picture, the little Pepper is actually being injected with this kind of extremis. Shet, Killian, I'll give you whatever you want, don't hurt her, I'm the one you're dealing with. Ah, bastard. Seeing his beloved woman suffer such inhuman torture, Tony almost didn't break down. Tony, as long as you can perfect this virus, I can get Killian to let you and Pepper go. Another voice came down the stairs. Maya Hansen, I should have thought of it earlier, this extremis is your fault. Tony, it's serious this time, listen to my advice, you can't beat Killian, trust me, I can help you. Bing. While the two were talking, suddenly, a gunshot sounded, and Maya Hansen fell down in response, without even uttering a scream. You talk too much, useless waste. Unexpectedly, Maya Hansen, who had only been on stage for a minute and hadn't finished speaking 3 lines, was shot in the head by her boss. Okay, Tony, you just stay here quietly and wait for a good show. Bye. Killian bowed and smiled at Tony. In that smile, there was a bit of sarcasm and a bit of a villain's complacency. Killian, what on earth do you want to do? Tony asked through gritted teeth. Nothing, it's just a show, you see what this is. Oh shit, Iron Patriot, you. Aha, give me a good treat for my old friends. After speaking, Killian made a silent gesture. He walked out without looking back. The rest of them looked at Tony with smirks on their faces. You should know who I am. How about we make a bet? I count to 10, you have to lie on the ground, don't look at me being tied up now. Obviously, a few gangsters who had never seen the world were bluffed, and they were much more cautious when walking towards Tony. However, after all the boss ordered, Tony still had to entertain, well. Okay, boom. Before Tony could finish counting, the leader punched Tony in the stomach. Hiss. Okay. I remember you, you will die the worst later. 1, 2, 3. Another punch. Bang bang bang, does anyone need help? It's a good deal. Suddenly, a very abrupt voice sounded beside everyone. Everyone looked towards the place where the sound came from. I saw a black shadow standing on the eaves of the window. Looking carefully, this person was carrying a bow and a sword in his waist. He was dressed in black with a hood, his face was completely covered, and it was impossible to recognize who it was. Mr. Hunter. Why are you here? Great, help me. 500 million, hurry up, save me. Without Su Zaicheng's reminder, Tony already knew the rules, and if he wanted this expert to make a move, he would have to spend money to avoid disaster. Happy's life is worth $1 billion, why, you are so deducted from yourself. You haven't changed at all, Tian Yi will do billions. I didn't say, 1 billion, since you don't plan to spend money, then I'm leaving. Su Zaicheng turned around and left. No, 2 billion, one price, 2 billion, just save me. Mission, I took it. Hearing Mr. Hunter's promise, Tony was immediately relieved, but his head was still full of black lines. The last time he was killed was worth 10 million, but now it cost 2 billion, and he was just let go, that's all. Simple. This money is too comfortable to earn, although 2 billion is nothing to Tony, but it can't stand it. Damn. Why haven't you come yet? Tony definitely didn't know, his armor was on its way if he guessed correctly. It was just locked in curry by Harry. Stop. If you don't want to die, leave quickly. When saying these words, in fact, these little gangsters also had their legs trembling. Who is this person in front of him? He is a famous bounty hunter. A few days ago, he was reporting on TV that he defeated the aliens and saved the world. If you dare to fight against him, isn't it lighting up the lamp in the hut, looking for death? HMPH, it seems that you all know who I am, so don't block my way. Su Zaicheng snorted softly, and several people trembled in fright and stood in the way. I'm afraid they lost the courage to look directly at Su Zaicheng. Su Zaicheng walked straight in front of Tony, swiped the cursed blood knife lightly, and the handcuffs made of fine iron were cut off so easily. Ding, mission accomplished. Hearing the system's notification sound, the corner of Su Zaicheng under the hat rose slightly. It's not too easy to get another 2 billion. Tony was put down under everyone's gaze. Suddenly, there was a rush of wind coming from the window just now. It turned out to be the Mark armor that arrived late. Well, Mr. Hunter, you can't count the time to show up, don't tell me that you were here just for this moment. Tony, who was wearing the armor, was even more depressed. He took out 2 billion in 1 second, and the armor came in the next second. This is too coincidental. Even if Mr. Hunter didn't admit it, I'm afraid Tony wouldn't believe it. Not to mention that the blueprint of the new energy target last time was cheated out of 100 million in the same way. As I said, we each rely on our own abilities in this matter. Don't forget that Harpy's 1 billion will be transferred to my account within 3 days. After speaking, Su Zaicheng disappeared in place again. Because if he stayed here, Su Zaicheng was afraid that he would not be able to help but laugh. Yes, that's right, it's just to trick you. Just for money, haha, I didn't expect it, no surprise. Use teleportation again to leave here. Now that Tony has armor, forget about him. The task was to let him down, and he didn't say to help him find the real culprit, the mastermind behind the scenes. As for finding out that Mandarin was a British actor hired by Killian, I'll let Tori find out for himself. Now that the goal has been achieved, it's time to meet the first person who dared to blow up his own house. However, since you want to find a place, you have to cut the grass and roots. Although the real culprit behind the scenes is Killian, Su Zaicheng knows that it is impossible for Killian alone to find his position, and there must be his puppet in the government. Coincidentally, the first person to benefit from forcing the president to resign is the vice president. What's more, Su Zaichang also knows that the vice president is actually Killian's lackey. Without further ado, go to him now. Where can I find it? If I guess correctly, the president and his group of politicians should have been kidnapped. Forget it. For the sake of the bounty hunter's face, just waste a tracking paper. Although Su Zaichang felt that it was a disadvantage for this small character to use tracking paper cranes, but there was no other way to do it. Fortunately, Su Zaichang also got to know the vice president through TV and news these days. He took out the tracking paper crane from the hunter space, sank into it, and followed the paper crane slowly with his gaze. In the end, they actually met in midair. Coincidentally, it was the place where Su Zaichang rushed to. This is a Zongtong chartered plane, and it is flying towards a pier. Paper cranes fly into it, and there are rice pot Zongtong, Zongtong's secretary, and several big shots on rice pot knitting. He didn't expect Killian's ambition to be so big, and he wasn't afraid that eating too much would make his stomach full. No matter so much, even if the King of Heaven is on this plane, Su Zaichang will still vent his anger. Deputy Zongtong, today is a deal, and even Jesus can't keep him, as my bounty hunter Su Zaichang said. Now that he knew where the person was, without further ado, he cut off and tracked the paper crane. The moment the paper crane turned into a light spot and disappeared, Su Zaichang took off directly. Because it happened to be on the road of Su Zaichang, within half an hour, a large commercial airliner with a striped star flag appeared in his eyes. In the next second, Su Zaichang appeared in front of the hatch. He grabbed the hatch and pulled it casually, and the hatch was rotten like it was made of paper. After all, 325 points of physique were added, so it was no joke. I'm afraid that this random movement must have several tons of strength. Fact Squid, what's going on? What's going on? Where is James Rhodes, General Rhodes? Someone hijacked the plane. Seeing someone suddenly barging in midair, the group of intellectuals panicked in fright. Although all of them are members of the upper echelons of the Guo family, they have never seen such a scene before. Only Zongtong's face remained unchanged, and he hurriedly called for help. However, at the moment's iron pot lover armor is no longer James Rhodes, but Killian's puppet. Therefore, no matter how loud everyone shouts, there will never be a savior. Don't worry, I'm only for him. Su Zaichang stared at the secondary pupil coldly. Interrupt their cries. You are a bounty hunter, a person who fights against alien invasion by himself. Sure enough, the group of people who calmed down realized that the man in the black windbreaker and hood in front of them was the bounty hunter who had made a splash in New York a few days ago. Even if a few people don't know the goods, they still have to know this person. You should know why I came. Since you dare to do it, you must be ready to be killed. Su Zaichang didn't pay any attention to their nonsense, he only had one person in his eyes. Die. Saying that, Su Zaichang pulled out the cursed blood knife. Point to the secondary longitudinal pupil. Don't kill me. Aren't you a bounty hunter? I'll give you money, a lot of money, how about letting me go? Ever since Su Zaichang appeared, Deputy Zongtong had already known that he would surely die today. However, after so many years, it was hard to sit on the position of the secondary pupil, and maybe he will be able to board the longitudinal pupil soon. Why is he not afraid of death? This is an example of why the more official you are, the more timid you are. Please forgive me, everything is late. Seeing the man kneeling on the ground shaking like chaff, and even smelling urine, Su Zaichang not only sneered. This is still the vice vertical pupil, if you dare to do it or not, you should kill it. Raised the knife in his hand and dropped it. Before he could finish his next sentence, the next moment, the deputy vertical pupil would end up with a different head. The bystanders have long been dumbfounded. Even Zongtong sat slumped on the ground and stared dumbfoundedly at the deputy Zongtong. Putian's partner's skull fell to the ground. What's going on? What's going on? A group of people just watched the deputy Zongtong die just like that. Not to mention resistance. These people didn't even dare to refute. They didn't even dare to breathe. They didn't dare to raise their heads, let alone look directly at Su Zaichang. I'm afraid that the bounty hunter's knife will appear on his neck in a second. The moment they blinked, they looked up, and there was only a strong smell of blood in the cabin. As for Su Zaichang, he had long since disappeared, as if he had never been here before. Only the dead bodies on the ground told them that it was not easy. Isn't Su Zaichang from Avengers? Isn't he from? Killed the abomination, fight against the aliens, isn't he a superhero? How come he killed the secondary vertical pupil? This group of people wanted to break their heads but couldn't figure out what was going on. And this happened to be Su Zaichang's little calculation. For a long time, it was who hired him, causing Su Zaichang to appear in the public eye. People who don't know must have the same idea as these people on the plane. Su Zaichang, The bounty hunter is a person from, a superhero, and the opposite of all villains. So far, none of the gang leaders, Jin Bing, Red Skull, and Hydra have dared to invite Su Zaicheng. You know, each of these people is a master who kills people without blinking an eye, who doesn't make trouble for a day, who doesn't eat well, who doesn't sleep well, who wants to destroy the world and rule the earth all day long. If these people don't come to Su Zaicheng, it must be because of this, at least this is what Su Zaicheng thinks. Therefore, killing the deputy vertical pupil is the so-called killing two birds with one stone. One is, find a place and dare to blow up my home, then you have to pay me a price. The second is to tell everyone that he is a bounty hunter, not a lackey of the government. Bad guys can be killed, aliens can be killed, and I dare to kill the deputy vertical pupil. As long as you can offer me a price that satisfies me, I don't care about Heavenly King Lao Su. Coincidentally, I also use this to warn whether I am a bounty hunter. Whether I am a bounty hunter, I only recognize money, not people. Because there was a bounty hunter just now, the terrifying aura directly suppressed the airflow of the plane door. Now that Su Zaicheng has disappeared, the air pressure in the aircraft cabin suddenly drops extremely rapidly, as if everything is going to be sucked out. Zongtong's secretary, and everyone including this group of people were suddenly sucked out of the hatch by a huge force without any precaution. This place is several thousand meters high. If it falls, not only a few of them will die, but the whole rice pot will probably be shaken. Anyway, Su Zaicheng didn't think about these things, he just wanted to cause a stir. The bigger the trouble, the better. Killing is killing, considering the consequences, and dealing with the aftermath. That is not the demeanor that a hunter should have. Mr. Hunter, help, we pay, we hire you to stop. As expected of Zongtong, he was able to understand Su Zaicheng's position so quickly and understand his intention to kill Deputy Zongtong. However, Su Zaicheng had disappeared long ago. After killing Deputy Zongtong, he disappeared after a few teleports, so he didn't hear Zongtong's shouting at all. Even if I hear it, I don't necessarily accept this task. I just go to save you after I have established my prestige. Isn't this a slap in the face of myself? Don't worry, according to the development of the plot, Tony should appear at this time. Wearing Mark armor, they fell from the sky and threw them into the sea unharmed. It's your turn next, and the main event will start right away. At the moment, Su Zaicheng temporarily stopped on a pedestrian street in Washington's New Columbia district. Hunter suits and equipment are also included in the space. After a busy day, let's rest for a while. Staying in the sky all day, teleporting from time to time, the flight mode is always on, although the meditation technique constantly replenishes mental power. However, Su Zaicheng still felt tired, not mentally, but psychologically. After finally coming to the capital of the United States, Su Zaicheng still has to go around, let Killian live a little longer. In fact, many people have a misunderstanding that New York is the capital of the United States, but it is not. The capital of the United States is Washington, also known as Washington, the capital of the United States of America. District of Columbia, White House, President, West is located here. This is the political heart and cultural center of the United States, without any industrial atmosphere. New York is an international metropolis. It is also one of the largest economic centers in the world. However, after looking around, Su Zaicheng didn't find anything different about the capital of the United States. I don't know if it was the reason for the president's kidnapping, or the horrific live broadcast of Mandarin these days, or the death of Iron Man. The whole neighborhood seemed dull, and several shops were even closed. If they knew that the vice president had died just now, they don't know what would happen. Su Zaicheng thought of it this way. The United States in this Marvel world is really full of disasters. After shopping for half an hour, I didn't find anything novel. The capital deserves to be the capital, where you can see landmarks, museums, and tourists everywhere. After this lap, Su Zaicheng has already seen many Chinese people taking pictures as souvenirs, and he still has a little thought. Especially all kinds of delicacies. What? Steamed lamb, steamed bear's paw, steamed deer tail, roasted duck, roasted goose. All come for a portion. Just thinking about it, I suddenly feel hungry. Fortunately, there are many tourists, and naturally there are many high-end restaurants. Not turning anymore, Su Zaicheng turned around and entered a Michelin 5-star hotel. It is actually built so close to the White Palace, it seems that those politicians spend a lot of money here. Waiter, bring me Kobe beef, medium rare, opening a bottle of 82 Lafite. After holding back for so long, I have bread and jam every day, and today I will have a big meal. Anyway, my brother is rich. After a full meal, Su Zaicheng wiped his bulging belly with satisfaction and walked out. High-end restaurants are different, even the mealtime is stipulated. This meal took Su Zaicheng a full hour. Since you are full, you have to have some fun to digest and digest. You can't fight with your stomach full. Just in time, before dinner, Su Zicheng took a fancy to the footbath city behind the hotel. Unexpectedly, the footbath city is not only available in China, but also in Washington, the capital of the United States. Maybe this is cultural exchange. He strode in, not to mention, Su Zicheng's current appearance really has the air of a nouveau riche. Hi sir. What service do you need? Unexpectedly, the front desk was actually from Washaw. After learning about it, I realized that this footbath city was actually opened by the boss of Washaw. Sure enough, people from the United States still can't think of such a way to make money. Lying in the presidential suite, a wretched-looking man also came in. Don't tell me it was you who pressed me. Hey, boss, you really know how to joke. I'm the lobby manager here. Do you need any special services? This wretched man, coupled with this sentence, especially that cheap expression, can't help but let Su Zicheng's imagination run wild. Boss, don't think too much, we are serious pedicures. Well, I am here to consume seriously. Don't want too much. How could you not want too much? Your cheap expression almost didn't let me stop. Fortunately, I have the reaction of being single for so many years. After the wretched man left, a super sweet-looking young beauty walked in. Started a serious massage, pedicure. As expected of a presidential suite, Su Zicheng immediately felt refreshed after finishing this set. She was almost pressed to sleep in the middle. By the time Su Zicheng came out again, it was already 6 or 7 in the afternoon, and the sun was almost setting. The time in the United States and the pace of life in the United States are actually quite fast. The sun said that there would be no delay after get off work, God black is black. Unexpectedly, this break lasted until night. It's all because the capital is so charming. Okay, it's time to settle the score, it's time for me to perform. In a dark corner, suddenly a wind blew from the ground, and a black figure rose from the ground. It was Su Zicheng who was fully armed. During the foot massage today, Su Zicheng did not sit idle, but used the last paper crane to find Killian's location. New York, Port of Los Angeles. This place has been leased by Killian's AIM company, which means that the entire Los Angeles port is Killian's desperate fighter. It's really surrounded by layers. Su Zicheng sneered and swooped down from a giant crane. As early as 3 minutes ago, Su Zicheng had arrived. Hawkeye took off, and with the help of mental power and mind control, it was enough to grasp all the information of the entire port within 3 minutes. Killian really wanted to use extremists to create a group of extremist troops that would destroy the world. And in the warehouse in the port, this kind of experimentation is proceeding at a fast pace. Pong with a slight sound, Su Zicheng stopped firmly on the ground. Who? Unexpectedly, there was a dark whistle. A beam of light appeared at Su Zicheng's foothold in a second. It's just that there is only a punch-deep groove on the ground, and nothing else. The moment he landed, Su Zicheng had already used the shadow concealment technique to disappear into the shadows. It's not that Su Zicheng dared not show his face. With his strength, he can instantly kill the desperate fighters in the entire port. It may be the habit of carrying out missions so many times, taking people's heads silently, or it may be because they are afraid of scaring the snake. If Killian knew he was coming and was running away secretly, wouldn't it be a waste of tracking the paper crane, wouldn't it? Just as Su Zicheng disappeared in place, 2 more sneaky people appeared in the port of Los Angeles. Tony, are we just going to break in alone? Who said we were alone? Wanted help? Wait and see. The 2 people turned out to be Tony Stark and General James Rhodes. However, 2 people broke in with pistols. I don't know who gave them the courage, but the pistol can't do any damage to the desperate warrior. While the 2 were chatting and waiting for help, there was a sudden explosion. Su Zicheng let go of his mental power and quietly dodged every sentry and patrolling team. It has to be said that Killian is really capable, and he has so many desperate fighters for him to use. However, Su Zicheng is not a vegetarian. Even the base of Su Zicheng is as easy as visiting a supermarket, let alone such a shoddy research and development base. Boom. Su Zicheng mercilessly kicked open the seemingly indestructible iron gate in front of him. Who? Swish swish swish. Immediately, the people inside instantly became alert, and all the guns in their hands were aimed at the door. The smoke dissipated, revealing Su Zicheng's black clothes. Fire. Seeing this attire, Killian shuddered immediately, never expecting that the Lord could find this place. However, since he has the guts to bully you and blow up the bounty hunter's house, Killian still has something to rely on in his heart. Pong bing. Mount. A rapid gunshot resounded throughout the room in an instant. However, it was of no use. Su Zicheng was as relaxed as walking in the rain. That's right, it was raining bullets. Just ding ding ding. The bullets seemed to be hitting an iron plate, jingling and falling off more and more. No, at this level, I am afraid that iron is hard. You know, these bullets are all custom made by Killian at a high price. Each bullet is 1 inch long, and this is a ground-to-air bullet specially used to hit aircraft. Not to mention 3 mm, even a 3 cm steel plate can be easily pierced. This can be regarded as a small reliance for Killian, because he knows that ordinary firearms, even rocket launchers, cannot cause any damage to this famous bounty hunter. Looking at Su Zicheng, he enjoyed striding forward very much. Such intensive firepower could not slow down his speed even a little. Originally only 325 points of physique, plus the blessing of the hunter suit. The current Su Zicheng basically completely ignores any kind of modern weapons on the planet. Definitely, the big baby is another matter. After all, Su Zicheng has never really seen the explosive power of a big baby. Enough is enough, it's my turn. Although the feeling of the bullet hitting the body is still somewhat comfortable, but Yin Cheng is here to fight, not to be comfortable. These words were still floating in the air, and Su Zicheng's figure disappeared in the next second. What, so fast? Obviously, Su Zicheng's speed has exceeded Killian's expectation. Su Zicheng raised the knife and dropped it, and every time he swung the knife, he could take away a head. Originally, he wanted to play the acrobatics of chopping bullets with a knife, but after thinking about it, let it go, killing him with one blow, clean and neat. This is his style. With the cursed blood knife in Su Zicheng's right hand, he danced a beautiful sword flower in midair and inserted it into the scabbard. None of the people present stood up except Killian. Interesting, it seems that I underestimated you. I didn't expect that besides that idiot Tony, there would be such a powerful character. I admire you. Clap clap. While talking, Killian actually slapped Su Zicheng. What kind of knife are you? You don't even have time for extremists to heal. Looking at the dismembered corpses here, Killian became curious instead of angry. These people are just defective products. All the cuts and fractures were as smooth as a mirror, and that layer of foul-smelling black light firmly suppressed the red light of magma that kept trying to shoot out. Knife to kill you, then see if you have the ability. Before Su Zicheng finished speaking, Killian unexpectedly attacked him. I'm afraid that Killian also realized that he has no chance of winning against the bounty hunter. The only way to win is to sneak attack. HMPH, it's just a joker. You are the first person who dared to blow up my house. If I don't teach you a lesson, you really think I'm easy to bully. However, Killian's punch with magma penetrated Su Zicheng's body in an instant. Well, fuck, afterimage, so fast. With the blessing of copying, Killian's small movements naturally have nowhere to escape. What's more, with the mind-reading ability turned on, Su Zicheng just sneered at his little thought, without pointing it out at all. Don't kill him immediately, just want to torture him, just like Harold. Since it is a slap in the face, it must be carried out to the end. Since there is one, it must not appear a second time. Otherwise, his bounty hunter's face may be trampled on again and again. Su Zicheng wants to set up such a banner. I welcome all employers. However, if you come to mess with me, or think that I am easy to bully, then I will show you what it means to be a tiger. No matter who you are, no matter what purpose you have, I, Su Zicheng, a bounty hunter, will always be in existence that you cannot provoke. At this moment, Killian also hammered at the surroundings like crazy. Because, Su Zicheng's speed is so fast that there are afterimages all around him. This scene looked like a group of people circled around a small animal, constantly looking at him playfully, as if they wanted to penetrate his body and only penetrate his soul. Do you only know how to hide? Well-known bounty hunters only run away blindly. If it spreads out, many people will laugh their ass off, haha. The aggressive method is useless, you can't. Next year today will be your Memorial Day, and this is your burial place. Su Zicheng saw through his little thoughts at a glance. Even the old fox of black braised egg can't play against Su Zicheng, let alone this guy. However, Su Zicheng stopped cooperatively. Ha ha, old. Killian thought he had succeeded in his trick, and with a wave of his hand, a ball of magma rushed out straight to Su Zicheng's face. Definitely, this is what he thinks. I saw that Su Zicheng waved his hand lightly, and the big pile of magma shells was brushed aside just like that, and with a wave of his hand, there was not even a spark left. The plus 25 hunter suit is no joke, waterproof, fireproof, and UV resistant. Unexpectedly, Killian still had a backup. With a loud cry, the clothes all over his body exploded, revealing the skin underneath that looked like a body made of magma. Boom boom boom. Killian breathed fire all over his body, emitting astonishing heat waves all over his body, and the shining red light even dyed the night red. Playing with fire, I will accompany you to the end. As he said that, Su Zicheng actually put the cursed blood knife into the hunter space. Because of Killian's constant attacks, this simple room could no longer withstand the explosion. Finally, there was a roar, like a bomb exploding. Together with this piece of smoke and dust, the two of them just disappeared from sight. However, when he looked up, Su Zicheng's body was already standing on a crane. Looking down high. Not even a little dust fell on the body. This is the horror of teleportation. If you use absolute speed, Su Zicheng can reach here in an instant. It's just that you need a process at a fast speed, and this process is that you have to go through this piece of dust. Teleportation is different. This is a process of space jumping, completely ignoring the process of passing through the dust. Looking at Killian, the flames of magma were all over his body. His original appearance had long since disappeared, and the only thing that could be recognized was his shape and facial features made of magma. Originally, I was a little afraid of your sword. It seems that you want to kill yourself. I forgot to tell you, actually, I am Mandarin, haha, how about it, no surprise. I know. Originally, he thought that Su Zicheng would be a little surprised if he revealed his true identity, but unexpectedly, he just said, I know, and swallowed the rest of the pretending to pretend. Are all bounty hunters like this? Killian patted the dust off his body, but there was nothing left on his body. The whole body breathes fire, coupled with the temperature of 3000 degrees Celsius, there is nothing left. Even the air next to it creaked. Really? Meteor flame. After finishing speaking, the copy eyes in Su Zicheng's eyes suddenly lit up with 5 colored stars. And above Killian's head also appeared a magic pentagram matrix. Aren't you magma? Aren't you playing with fire? It must be very aggrieved to let you die under the magma. In fact, at the same time as the gunshot, the entire port was alarmed. All the desperate fighters quickly surrounded Su Zicheng. And behind a container, 2 figures also secretly looked towards the office. Tony, look, isn't that Pepper? We need help. We're not fighting alone. Just as Tony finished speaking, a swish, swish, swish sound suddenly came from the sky. It turned out to be Tony's armor, and not just one set, but one set after another. In a few breaths, no less than 100 suits of armor have come. From Mark 7 to Mark 42. This is Tony's true strength after leading the Chitauri stars to invade the Earth. Every day is dedicated to the research and development of various armors, improving the strength of weapons, and various details. So rigorous that he ignored the existence of his girlfriend Pepper. Because, in that battle, Tony realized his big shortcomings, and it can even be said that he was still far behind. Now Tony has a bit of anxiety disorder. No matter how strong he is nothing more than what Thor said, just a mortal hiding in an iron sheet. He even doubted whether it was him, Tony Stark himself, or this set of steel armor that everyone admired. Okay, you can choose a set yourself. Maybe there is no model of yours. Well, say what you want, but I'm not surprised by this move. The president will leave it to you. I will save Pepper. After speaking, Tony rushed forward without looking back whether James Rhodes heard or not. The presence of so many Iron Man naturally attracted the attention of Killian and his men. Oh, fuck, this guy always surprises me. Immediately, Killian's desperate fighters and Tony's armor staged a man-machine battle. Definitely, facing these defective products is just a one-sided plot. I believe that in less than 2 hours, all extremist soldiers will fall under the shells of Iron Man. Meteor flame. Before Killian could observe the battle situation, a flame meteorite with a diameter of 3 meters appeared above his head in the next second. Su Zicheng thought this way. Just like fighting against one of the 5 fingers of the Hand Association, he used Killian's best skills to deal with him, so that he could realize what it means to know that there are people outside people, and there is a sky outside the sky. It can be regarded as humiliating and humiliating him. Give me. Killian didn't dodge at all, and yelled. He punched the meteorite fiercely. Boom. Unexpectedly, the meteorite, which was enough to kill a big steel fish, paused for a moment. It seems that this Killian still has some skills. However, no matter how awesome it is, under the flames of the meteorite, it is still, somewhat, this blow. Su Zicheng has the mentality of killing. Sure enough, within 3 seconds of being a real man, Killian was slammed into the horizon by the meteorite with a pop. This time, even if it is not burned to ashes, it must be smashed into a meat paste. Unexpectedly, I have already used the fastest speed, but I still haven't snatched Mr. Hunter. Tony, who was wearing Mark's armor, finally came to. I said, each depends on his ability, but it seems that you are indeed a step late, goodbye. Hey, wait a minute, I need your help with one more thing. Well, it's hiring. Tell me. I don't know if Mr. Hunter can give my girlfriend's virus to. How much? Oh shit, do you only have money in your mind? I have hired so many times, the oldest customer can't get a discount. Goodbye. $1 billion. Oh no, 2 billion, and my price. I took this task. On the surface Su Zaicheng is cold and cold, but in his heart he has already burst into laughter. Haha, I didn't expect it, Tony is really a fool. 2 billion, again. In fact, with Tony's current level of technology, he can cure Pepper by himself. Definitely, Su Zaicheng will not tell the truth. If you have money, you don't make money. By taking advantage of Tony's concern for his girlfriend, he is making a fortune out of him. As the saying goes, caring leads to chaos, which means caring leads to chaos. Ha. Jokes aside, Su Zaicheng honestly opened the system mall to look for things that could cure diseases. Speaking of therapy. In fact, you have to use potions. After all, Su Zaicheng has no other good way to deal with this thing. He can just kill and kill others. Needless to say, he needs to use medicine to heal this thing. If someone else needs it, he has to ask the system for help at critical moments. The healing potion that treated Happy last time popped out first. However, this time it is obviously a bit of the right medicine. After looking around for a long time, I only saw that the 100 poisons not invading pill that I used last time sold for 1 million. It seems that this is the only one left. Without any hesitation, I bought it for 1 million. 1 million is exchanged for 2 billion. Isn't it good? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it good? Strictly speaking, extremis can also be regarded as a kind of poison. Since it is invulnerable to all poisons, then this elixir should be fine. Strictly speaking, extremis is also a kind of poison. Since the introduction of the system is invulnerable to all poisons, then this elixir should be no problem. The 100 Dubu Bujin pill is a dark pill, about the size of a thumbnail. Although it doesn't look good, it still smells faintly fragrant. Eat directly. Okay. Tony took the pill and handed it directly to Little Pepper, just like feeding Happy last time, and he would not doubt Su Zaicheng either. Mr. Hunter, I have a question for you, say. Did you bring a treasure chest with you? You really have everything. It's no wonder Tony was curious. Every time Su Zaicheng picked up something, he picked it up casually. Looking at him, he didn't have any big pockets or anything. Tony wanted to ask when he saved Happy last time. The healing potion is a liquid without a stopper. Why do you carry this thing with you? There was also a pill that didn't even have a package. I don't know if it's hygienic. Eat a diarrhea. Definitely Su Zaicheng will not tell him that he has such a bug in the hunter space. I, Su Zaicheng, am a Phil money player. Naturally, I had to bring some equipment, gold boxes and so on. Can I tell you that? After 3 days, all the money will be in my account, or you will bear the consequences. After speaking, Su Zaicheng disappeared in an instant without answering Tony's question at all. Not going to answer either. After Su Zaicheng left, there was only a world of 2 people left. Naturally, after ignoring Pepper for such a long time, Tony was naturally going to feel disgusted. Honey, I swear I'll never let you leave me again. Okay. While talking, the 2 of them got together. If Su Zaicheng is here, you have to spit it out and show your affection in front of my 10,000-year single dog. You are going to die, it's not over yet. Honey, look. After speaking, Tony pointed to the sky. Bang 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 bang. Bang 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 bang. Bang 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 bang. The battle armor all over the sky exploded just like that. Yes, it just exploded, blooming like a firework. So many battle armors are worth tens of billions of dollars, and Tony is so rich. Just take it as a Christmas present for you. How about it? Do you like it? How extravagant is such a Christmas gift? If Su Zaicheng decides and is definitely not willing to part with it, coming to the Marvel world and playing so hard for such a long time is not enough to play a firework. Uncomfortable. Galloping all the way, Su Zaicheng returned to the villa in Queens before 10 o'clock. This battle, it can be said that there is no slightest wave, and there is no challenge at all. If Su Zaicheng has to talk about it, the one who is happy may be that he spent 5 billion whores for nothing. How cool it is to earn extra money while looking for a job. In addition, these magical skills learned are more proficient. The current Su Zaicheng can be said to be omnipotent in physical attack and magic damage. It can be a magician, an assassin, a shooter, and even a tank. If you want meat, you have meat, and if you want output, you have output. After taking off his clothes, he took a nice hot bath, ate some bread casually, and then Su Zaicheng lay down. A happy day ends from earning 5 billion. In the early morning of the next day, I turned on the TV as usual to see what news there was, and then I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash my hands. Sure enough, the TV reported the battle yesterday. After all, the entire port of Los Angeles was bombed to the sky. There is also the matter of Deputy Zongtong being killed, but it is just a simple mention. It seems that the first thing this Zongtong came back was to suppress the killing of Deputy Zongtong. Maybe he was afraid that the bounty hunter would trouble him. Su Zaichang didn't care either, although what he thought was that the bigger the incident, the better, so that more people would know about it, but since Zongtong suppressed him, there was nothing he could do about it. Su Zaichang can't influence the political media either. But don't worry, the wrists of those big shots behind them, needless to say, they will not let go of what they should know. And then there's Tony. In the news, Tony underwent heart repair surgery, had bullet fragments removed, and was freed from the constraints of a nuclear reactor. I no longer rely on Iron Man, I found myself, because I am Iron Man. First of all, I would like to thank two people. One is my girlfriend Pepper, and the other is Mr. Bounty Hunter. Hearing Tony mention himself in the news, Su Zaichang was a little surprised. I didn't do anything, and I cheated of your money, Tony, you are too good at flattering. Thinking about. Su Zaichang almost drank the mouthwash. At this moment, in Tony's private office, the executive of Stark Industry, two people were having a long conversation. Thank you for listening to me so much, it's like something is being released from my chest cavity. Instead of holding it in, people get sick if they keep holding it in. I didn't even know you were such a good listener. Being able to share my inner thoughts and experiences with others made me feel half relieved. It's like a snake swallowing its own tail and returning to the original place in a circle. Since you can help me. Pat. Suddenly Bruce Banner dropped the pen in his hand and interrupted Tony's rambling speech. Where did it go? Unexpectedly, Banner scratched his head, looking sleepy. Are you listening to me? Definitely, we talked about. Are you taking a nap? Well, 99% to be precise, I'm fugue. Where did you sleep? On the Swiss elevator. That means you didn't hear anything. Tony frowned, and said helplessly with a mournful face. Definitely, Su Zaichang didn't know all of this. If Su Zaichang saw Tony's expression just now, he would surely burst out laughing on the spot. Tony, this guy is worthy of being the funny guy in the Avengers, and the funny one. It's also worthy of that little Spider-Man is so speculative with him. Su Zaichang was eating potato chips, when the notification tone of the text message on his mobile phone disturbed him. It's more of a reminder than an interruption. If it was disturbing, Su Zaichang had to be disturbed like this. Hey. At first glance, it was actually Tony who called 5 billion. I didn't expect Tony to be so straightforward. After giving him 3 days, he actually called him right after the interview. Yeah, not bad, happy to cooperate again. Do you do business? I like this kind of straightforward, generous clients the most. Open the system. Add the 5 billion that just arrived in the balance column. So far it has accumulated another 5.9525 billion. Seeing this series of zeros, Su Zaichang suddenly felt more at ease, and the troubles of spending 3.9 billion before disappeared in an instant. As usual, Su Zaichang had to rest for a while after each shot. In the early morning, the outside of the villa was quiet, and there seemed to be very few people on the horse farm and golf course today. According to Su Zaichang's speculation, which big shot should be reserved today? Because this is not the first time this has happened, it's just that there are not many people who rent out the horse farm and the golf course separately. Queens, the villa area where Su Zaichang is located, although it is sparsely populated, but there are many hidden bigwigs and rich people. Maybe a business tycoon or a political elite, definitely whoever it is, godfather of gangsters. However, Su Zaichang was still a little curious about who the hell was able to rent out such a place where every inch of land was expensive. Hearing the sound, even the nearby bowling alley in the bar was quiet. This is to cover all the leisure and entertainment areas in the villa area. Tens of thousands of hectares of horse farms, thousands of square meters of golf courses, etc. This package is not a small sum of money. Just one day, at least hundreds of millions, may not be enough. The most important thing is, to be able to contract it, and to have the ability to make so many elite godfathers have no complaints. How capable this person must be. I'm afraid it's not an exaggeration to say that your hands and eyes are open to the sky. Regardless of these, it has nothing to do with Su Zaichang anyway. Just think about these things. So much money. Anyway, Su Zaichang has not yet reached the point where he is rich and wealthy. As long as the people who booked the venue didn't mess with him, Su Zaichang didn't have any objections. Your money, whatever you want. However, Su Zaichang still felt a sense of a storm coming. Maybe it's because the mind control is too strong and the perception of danger is too strong, and I'm a little nervous. Su Zaichang comforted himself in this way. Originally, Su Zaichang changed into sportswear and imagined the itinerary of the day today. First, he went to the racecourse to skate around the horses. The new lady in the bowling alley is quite beautiful, and then he went to play bowling. Then there's golf. I haven't abused that white rookie for several days, so I'll laugh at him again. In this way, the days can be spent happily. But the reality is so unsatisfactory. Fortunately, Su Zaichang has other projects. Since off-site activities can't be done, we still have indoor games. Turn on the phone. There are still several games without Phil money. Feel free to open a mobile game called Wang Wang Pesticide. Unexpectedly, it is really a paradise for Phil money players. 100,000. As a Phil money boss in reality, in the game, that must also be arranged. Torturing a group of spicy chickens, relying on Phil money to recharge the money to fight back with blood every time, and then escape. Su Zaicheng is indescribably more comfortable. Just like that, the whole morning passed without knowing it. It seems that playing games is really a good way to pass the time and pass the time. Hungry. I patted my growling stomach. I was so obsessed with playing games that I didn't realize it until I was hungry. It was already noon. It's all because Phil money is so charming. The bread was really hurt, and I didn't know how to make it myself, so I had to go down and buy it. Hey, it's really a waste that I only use these few fixed places in such a big villa. It's also good to learn a chef skill when it's time. Well, how can I think so? I'm a bounty hunter. How can there be a bounty hunter who cooks himself? Work hard to make money, hire 10 or 8 top chefs to cook for himself every day? No. Su Zaicheng quickly shook his head, shaking his mind from the idea of learning how to cook. Even if you learn, you have to wait for Jiali to come back. If you want to control the woman's legs, you must control the woman's mouth first. Using delicious food to keep such a level universe boss by her side, making her completely dependent on herself, wouldn't that be Su Zaicheng's free bodyguard? Su Zaicheng showed an evil expression. In the villa area, restaurants are decent. After a hasty lunch, I continued to go back to fill money and abuse people. Just when Su Zaicheng was passing the golf course and was about to go home, suddenly, the perception of danger rose instantly. Okay. Su Zaicheng subconsciously stretched out his hand and grabbed it in front of him. A golf ball. Go straight to Su Zaicheng's face. If you were hit by a hit, if you were an ordinary person, you might have to open the scoop on the spot. Who? Mr. Su is very skilled. A big bald head came from a distance. Su Zaicheng recognized the striking arrow target tattoo on his forehead at a glance. Who else could it be if it wasn't Bullseye? Are you looking for death? Mr. Su, don't get me wrong. My boss wants to chat with you, please move. Bullseye smiled and made a gesture of invitation to Su Zaicheng. Go away. Not interested. The boss of Bullseye is none other than Jin Bin, who is known as the king of the global underworld empire. Facing it, Su Zaicheng has no good face because he is the bull's eye of his opponent. Not to mention Jin Bing, aliens are ignored. A little Jin Bing wants to touch me. I really don't know if he has eaten a bear's heart and leopard gall. Really, I don't want to carry your dead body in the past, the boss will not be happy. Really, try it. Su Zaicheng was about to laugh angrily. An ant was comparing his size with an elephant, and even said he was going to dunk through the elephant. Do you think it's funny? Swish swish. Bullseye's expression changed. He got 2 flying darts out of nowhere, and precisely inserted them into Su Zaicheng's eyes. As expected of a member of the underworld empire, Bullseye does have 2 brushes, but that's just for ordinary people. Su Zaicheng, neither dodging nor dodging, raised one hand slightly, and instantly clamped the flying darts with 2 fingers. If you come and don't reciprocate, I will give you back. Throw it out with one hand, and use absolute hit by the way. Originally, looking at the direction where the flying darts were flying, he thought he had avoided the bullseye, but suddenly found that the flying darts turned around with him, following him like a homing missile, and suddenly turned pale with fright. Puff. There was a wonderful sound of a sharp weapon piercing into the flesh, and the 2 arms of the eye were firmly on the ground. Remember, in society, some people are not something you can mess with. As he said that, Su Zaicheng was going to go up to make up the knife, and kill you while you are sick. I don't care how powerful or trash you are, as long as you dare to threaten me, then you have to pay me the price. Clap clap. Wonderful, wonderful, Mr. Su is really extraordinary. Just when Su Zaicheng's foot was about to hit the bullseye, a burst of applause interrupted him. You are Jin Bin. Why did you rent out the entire entertainment area today just to play such a play for me? Ha ha ha. As expected of Mr. Su, wise and wise, he can't help but have amazing force, and he already knew my intentions today. Haha, admire, admire. In fact, this was what Su Zaicheng guessed on the spot. There are only a few people in this area who have the absolute financial resources to take care of so many venues and keep others from complaining. When the bullseye appeared, Su Zaicheng had almost guessed it. What's more, Su Zaicheng met him once at the golf course when he first bought the villa. It's just that Jin Bing is still alive. Daredevil's efficiency is a bit low. The last time I saw Daredevil chasing those orcs outside the bank, I don't know what happened. It seems that according to the plot, Jin Bing is not yet ready to fight Daredevil. Speak quickly. I have other things to do. Don't worry, Mr. Su. I didn't come here to fight with you today. I came here to see you. You see, I reserved this place specially to meet you alone. HMPH, I really have a heart. Su Zicheng snorted coldly, pulled a chair and sat down. I heard that Mr. Su killed the hand's apprentice. Okay. Su Zicheng suddenly became nervous. That's right. Botu was killed by Su Zicheng, but to be precise, it was killed by a bounty hunter. People outside only know about bounty hunters, but not Su Zicheng. Mr. Su don't need to be nervous, Mrs. Dang told me. As he said that, Jin Bing also pulled a chair and sat down, took a deep puff of the big cigar in his hand, and then protruded a smoke ring. This makes sense. There was originally a suite in Su Zicheng in Queens, which was used as a pickup point, but it was blown up by Killian. Because the hand would secretly come to Su Zicheng's house and see his true face, so the hand should know Su Zicheng's true face. Since it is the hand, it should have an interest relationship with gang leaders all over the world. Presumably, many people in the underworld should already know that the bounty hunter is Su Zicheng. Thinking of this, Su Zicheng was not only relieved. Killian and the vice president were killed yesterday, just for today. Just to let everyone know that Su Zicheng, a bounty hunter, takes everything in black and white. Killing the vice president also made these gangsters put down their guard against him. I'm afraid this is also the reason why Jin Bing came to the door today. The address of the bounty hunter is hard to find, but the identity of Su Zicheng is relatively easy to find. Definitely, with Su Zicheng's current strength, there is really no need to hide it anymore, so what if he is discovered openly? Now Su Zicheng has the confidence to walk sideways in New York. Yes, I killed it. Why, you want revenge? Su Zicheng was secretly startled, he didn't expect his experiment to be really successful. The death of Botu proves that the cursed blood knife is useful for the opponent's 5 fingers. In other words, the keel could not suppress the poison of the cursed blood knife. Now, I am afraid that the remaining 4 old immortals will not be able to sleep well. After all, after living for hundreds of years, they suddenly found out that someone could kill them, so how could they feel at ease? Su Zicheng should also not have to worry about the troubles of the mad ninja coming to him for the time being, because the hand will probably change. Mr. Su was joking. You have such a great ability. I dare not touch your back. I know that Mr. Su doesn't want everyone to know your true face, so I specially reserved all the places. My sincerity, Mr. Su should understand. Let's talk about it. What's the matter with me? Su Zicheng is still a little embarrassed by the king of the underworld empire talking about Mr. Su and Mr. Su. Looking at Bullseye, who was pinned to the ground and watched the two talking without daring to move, Su Zicheng couldn't help but want to laugh even more. Who would have thought that the famous bounty hunter is indeed a young man who hides again? He really echoed the old saying in China. Heroes have been born in youth since ancient times. Youth is promising, youth is successful, youth. Stop it. Don't talk about these useless things. If you have something to say, I will leave if you don't say it. Hearing this series of flattery, Su Zicheng felt a little embarrassed thinking about it. No matter how great it is, I can't stand your praise. System, please disclose this location to me. From now on, this villa will be the second turning point for me to continue to accept missions. After being reminded by Jin Bing, Su Zicheng realized that he seemed to have no place to accept the task. If anyone else wanted to hire him but couldn't find him, it would be a mess. Originally, Su Zicheng planned to build a villa at the original location of the explosion, but now that he thinks about it, since he can already show it to others, there is no need to do anything extra. Mr. Su is really a straightforward person, so I'll just say it straight. Recently, I have encountered some troubles. I want to ask Mr. Su to come forward. Kill who? Hearing that Jin Bing still wanted to beat around the bush, Su Zicheng simply pointed it out. A guy called Deadpool. Huh? Isn't Daredevil? Who is Daredevil? I made it up. I thought Daredevil's efficiency was low, but I didn't expect it to be so low. Even Jin Bin, his biggest enemy, had never heard of him. It was embarrassing. Also, I didn't expect Deadpool to dabble in such a wide range, that he could even mess with Jin Bin. Thinking about it, he shouldn't be blamed, but Jin Bing's hands are too long. Not only Daredevil, Spider-Man, but Daredevil, the Punisher, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four all have holidays with him. One more Deadpool is acceptable. That guy who can chop bullets with a knife is not easy to mess with. Mr. Su knows him. Just understanding. As expected of Mr. Su is really young and promising, young man. Price. Seeing that Jin Bing was about to lose his grip again, Su Zicheng interrupted him with a black thread. So, Mr. Su has taken over. As long as the price is right, I will consider it. How about 5 billion? Looking at the fair-looking young man in front of him, as a bright-faced businessman, he naturally had to bargain. However, looking at Su Zicheng with a slight smile, obviously, he was not satisfied. It's a little less. That guy is indestructible. He is indeed a difficult guy. I think it should be doubled, 10 billion. It can't be more. You know I also run a company. It's not easy to make a living, so just it's already costing money. Yes. With the mind-reading ability turned on, Jin Bing's little thoughts can be seen at a glance. In Su Zicheng's eyes, he is completely like a naked girl dancing with her clothes off. Buy it now, 1.5 billion. Deal. I will take over this task. Seeing that it had reached the lowest transaction price in Jin Bing's heart, Su Zicheng quickly took it, fearing that he would regret it. This is $15 billion, which is about 120 billion yuan compared with Ruanmei coins. In front of Su Zicheng, this is an astronomical figure. In a lifetime, oh no, I can't even imagine it in a few lifetimes. It seems that the break time is about to be suspended. Strictly speaking, yesterday was not a mission, but simply wanted to teach a lesson to the guy who dared to blow up his base camp, earning Tony's 5 billion, which is purely coincidental. Therefore, the time, place and people are right to take this order. No conflict, no conflict. Su Zicheng explained this forcefully. No matter how urgently we need money now, 1 billion to 800 million can no longer satisfy. Even a little bit of physical fitness still costs 150 million, and if it goes up, it needs 200 million. It seems that before the god-level physique, every 1/8 is a watershed. Moreover, Su Zicheng also wanted to be able to gallop in the universe when he reached the god-level physique. At present, simply flying on the earth is no longer enough for him. Therefore, the top priority is to take a few big orders. I can bring you his head, but I can't promise to kill him. Mr. Su is still so good at joking, his head is gone, how could he survive, ha ha ha. Anyway, this is the end of my story for you. If I bring you Deadpool's head, my mission will be considered complete. That is, then wait for the good news. The two talked about Deadpool's head calmly, as if it wasn't a person, but an object. Fortunately, Jin Bing has contracted this place. If outsiders hear this, and the two casually treat the head as a transaction, then it is as simple as calling the police. For a person like the United States who always acts bravely, if he can fight if you beat these two people, you have to go up and beat them up. After the task is completed, I have to see the information that the money has arrived within 3 days, otherwise I will bear the consequences. I can prepare now and deliver the goods tomorrow. Su Zicheng said with confidence. It seems that Jin didn't only know Deadpool indestructible, but he could catch bullets with his bare hands, but he didn't know why. Deadpool is not the same as Su Zicheng when he catches bullets. Although he uses his body to carry the bullets, the difference is that Su Zicheng can really catch bullets hard, while Deadpool has a powerful self-healing ability and will not die. It doesn't matter if the bullet hits or not. Now, Su Zicheng only prayed that Daredevil's efficiency would be a little lower, fearing that if Jin Bing was killed in these 3 days, then Su Zicheng would have no place to cry. That's why Su Zicheng guarantees delivery tomorrow. Now that the task had been taken over, Su Zicheng had no reason to stay, and turned around and went back to the villa directly. System, open the mall, I will buy some more things. Lying on the sofa, Su Zicheng directly turned on the system. Because the last time I was looking for the vice president and Killian had used up the only 2 remaining paper cranes. So Su Zicheng plans to buy a few more. After all, tracking paper cranes is a consumable item, and it is still essential for bounty hunters like Su Zicheng. Just come to 10. One tracking paper crane sells for 10,000, 10 100,000, yes, no payment. One is only 10,000 yuan, drizzle, rich and powerful, directly pay 100,000 yuan. It was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon from eating to finishing talking with Jin Bing. Time was running out, Su Zicheng couldn't wait until it was dark, so he released a tracking paper crane and started looking for Deadpool's location. The United States, West Virginia, Huntington. A man is sitting at home, lying on several gasoline cans to be precise. Wade Winston Wilson, also known as Deadpool, tried to commit suicide again, but he didn't know what he said, and saw him throw a lighter with one hand into the gasoline barrel under him without any hesitation. Boom. The collision of fire and gasoline suddenly turned into a bomb with huge amounts of power. During the explosion, a vertical middle finger could be vaguely seen. Su Zicheng cut off contact with the paper crane tracker, and it would be wonderful to see his face. His head was full of black lines, his face was full of black question marks, and 10,000 grass mud horses stepped on his head. This Deadpool is really worthy of his title of little bitch, committing suicide when he has nothing to do. I also don't know if I can see a complete Deadpool when Su Zicheng passes by. Hey, I'm really speechless. For the sake of 15 billion, let's go. Su Zaicheng shook his head helplessly. The next second has disappeared in the villa. Hey, Grandma, don't make too much sweet sauce, your sweet is as bad as shit. Oh dear Wade Winston Wilson, you're a piece of shit. Beep. Deadpool turned on the TV, ignoring the blind old woman. If anyone could see Deadpool like this, they would definitely go up and give him 2 punches. Because, he didn't wear pants at all, not even underwear, because he had just been blasted to pieces, so his legs were drooping like a baby's calves, and they didn't match the upper body of the adult above him at all. Ah, someone is here. Deadpool said that someone was coming, but he didn't seem to put his pants on. This person, of course, is Su Zaicheng. Su Zaicheng flew all the way and teleported, and finally felt the small town of Huntington, West Virginia, before dark. However, when re-entered the door, he saw such a scene that was not suitable for children. You're the bounty hunter recently. Why didn't I know that Marvel has such a powerful character like you? Oh damn, how many heroes did that old man Stan Lee draw behind my back? Looking at the man in black with a longbow in front of him, Deadpool immediately turned on the slut mode. Someone is going to buy your life. Su Zaicheng also found it very funny. This Deadpool is really interesting. After all, Deadpool even has many similarities with Su Zaicheng. Likewise, Deadpool is all but Su Zaicheng. The only person who knows the existence of the Marvel world, but also a character who escapes from the Marvel world and exists in the 4-dimensional era. Not to mention Iron Man, Captain America, or Avengers, even people outside the entire world know him. And, to be precise, Deadpool is also a bounty hunter. Then I really thank him. Come on, kill me, I can introduce the goddess of death to you. Aren't you going to resist? For Deadpool, who is also a bounty hunter, Su Zaicheng is actually a little interested, not to mention, this guy is so nonsensical and funny, even more interesting than Tony and Peter Parker. It can even be said that Su Zaicheng and him have a bit of a similar taste, and it can also be said that they have a common language. Since Deadpool is also a person who has escaped from the Marvel world, it can be said that there is no generation gap in communication with Su Zaicheng. Why resist? I can't beat you, kill me quickly, I still have something to do, that old thing will have to let me stir the sweet sauce later. Originally, Su Zaicheng thought that when he came to West Virginia, even if Deadpool didn't die, it would have to be a piece of meat. It's just that I didn't expect this guy's self-healing ability to be so strong. How long has it been? An hour? 2 hours? Almost recovered. I don't know how about my self-healing ability. Since buying the skill self-healing from the system, there is no room for him to use it, not to mention broken arms and legs, and even some small wounds, let alone, there is no man can break through his defenses. Seeing Deadpool's ugly appearance, Su Zaicheng didn't want to cut off his head so soon. Since he traveled to this world, there is still no one who can understand his words. Little bitch, are there any guests here? Do you want me to give you a kick? Buy yourself. Don't worry about it. Oh shit, you piece of shit. I've been with Deadpool for a long time, but I didn't expect this kind-looking blind old lady to be so tough. The goddess of death you mentioned should be the lover of purple sweet potato essence. Oh, you know that bitch, are you the same as me, or are you an OAA? It is worth mentioning that the death here is not Hela, the god of death in Asgard, and there is no direct relationship between the two. Hela can only be said to be very strong, but it is far from the level of death. Death is one of the 5 creation gods, and her strength is at the same level as Planet Devourer and Uncle Tun. Your super ability should be cursed by that purple sweet potato essence, hee. Super abilities are all imaginary. What the hell are you turning green all over, spinning silk on your hands, carrying a broken pot on your back, and growing steel claws? What use are these abilities other than fighting and killing? In my opinion, lucky and rich, this is the super ability that can give people a sense of happiness. Su Zaicheng looked like he was watching the show, and the humming in his nostrils was full of ridicule. Actually, Deadpool's self-healing ability wasn't so perverted in the first place. In the beginning, Deadpool just participated in the Wolverine's self-healing experiment because of cancer, and accidentally obtained Wolverine's self-healing ability. However, this self-healing ability is definitely not ranked in the Marvel world. However, what's ridiculous is that Xiao Jianzhan's charm is not low, and somehow he can make the death of one of the creator gods fall in love with him. It is also because of this that the jealous curse of Deadpool will never die, leaving it for him to kill himself in the future. It may also be because death doesn't accept him, but Xiao Jianzhan has really become an immortal existence. Oh shiete, don't talk about it, that guy is all purple. What's wrong with me dyeing him some green? He is so stingy, curse me. Su Zaicheng was also speechless. It was the first time I saw someone who talked about sleeping with other people's lovers so freshly and refinedly. All of a sudden, Su Zaicheng couldn't answer the conversation. How should we talk about it? Xiao Jianzhan's brain circuit is really 9 bends and 18 bends, it can't keep up with his brain hole at all. Aren't you going to kill me? Come on OAA dad, it's better to send me to heaven, I've lived enough, I've had enough of that old woman's shit like sweet sauce. It was Xiao Jianzhan who broke the atmosphere of silence. He looked cheap, as if he said come on, come on, come on, guest officer. Shit. Fox squid, your sweet sauce is shit, what you eat every day is shit. Although the old lady can't see with her eyes, she can use her ears very well. Okay. You're so mean, I'm going to have the eye of a needle. Since Su Zicheng came, the little cheapie started to shake. Little thing, if he didn't know that he often looks like this cheap, Su Zicheng would have given him a knife to break his heart and make his heart fly. Su Zicheng slowly pulled out the cursed blood knife, aiming at Xiao Jianzhan's neck and chopping it off. In case the poison of the cursed blood knife really poisoned him to death, Su Zicheng would really be reluctant to part with it. Hurry up, the flowers have been waiting for are all gone. Puff. A huge head was chopped off with a single knife. In an instant, his body was like a faucet that had burst open, and scarlet blood spurted out in an instant. Su Zicheng also thought that with the self-healing ability of the petite, it should be a bloodless situation. Hiss, it really hurts. Your knife is poisonous, why does it sting like an old woman's embroidery needle? You're really cheap, even if your head is cut off, you won't be able to shut up. Su Zicheng was completely helpless, seeing the head lying on the ground still chattering, he was really convinced. How could Stan Lee create such a weird guy? Just find a rag to cover Xiao Jianzhan's head, and Su Zicheng is going to go. Hey, hey, old woman, make more shit, oh shit, make more sweet sauce, don't wait for me. Do you still care about her? That's right, it's all up to her to eat. You have so many powerful girlfriends, why don't you follow them? Fake, who do you think I am, little boy? I'm not a person who relies on my face to make a living. Su Zicheng shook his head, that clearly means that besides, you, Xiao Jianzhan, are just a character who depends on women. Su Zicheng carried Xiao Jianzhan's head like he was carrying a bag of lunch, and teleported directly to the roof in an instant. Oh shit, what's going on, what's going on? Why did I suddenly get here, is this teleportation, is it, oh shit, it's so F***ing cool. Quick, one more time. Could you be quiet for a while? Suddenly, a wind blew up from the ground, and Su Zicheng turned into a gust of wind and rushed straight into the sky. At the same time, a pair of colorful wings appeared on the back. Why is it colorful? Because, this is the wing that Su Zicheng specially synthesized with multiple elements, so it must be cool. Definitely, at the same time, it consumes more spiritual power. If this is normal, Su Zicheng will definitely not do such a thankless thing. Today is an exception. Since you want to pretend, you have to play it to the end, not to mention there is a bystander with shining eyes. Su Zicheng's speed is very fast, and you have to consider the direction when you come, so it took a few hours. I found West Virginia at 4 o'clock, and it took 2 hours to fly to the place. Now I go back, definitely not so slow. An hour and a half later, Su Zicheng was standing in the yard of a villa in Queens. Ah, I'm home, I'm almost asleep. Asleep? Su Zicheng doesn't look like that at all. After flying from Su Zicheng, Xiao Jianzhan really lived up to his reputation all the way, his mouth seemed to have been opened, and he kept chanting, Su Zicheng's head was about to explode. Now it seems that Tony and Peter Parker's talk is completely childish in the face of the little bitches. The strange thing is, with Xiao Jianzhan's terrifying self-healing ability, logically, he should grow a section of body. Not to mention the growth of the upper body, it should be no problem if it grows to the chest, but it is really strange that after a few hours, Xiao Jianzhan's head is still the same head, and there is no sign of it growing out. Looking at the bright circle of poison around Xiao Jianzhan's neck, Su Zicheng fell into deep thought. Since the addition of the cursed blood knife reached 10, the cursed poison has reached the point where it is colorless and tasteless. If Su Zicheng hadn't known that there was cursed poison on his sword, he might not have been able to see it. Since there is cursed poison, then everything is easy to explain. Do you still feel like a needle prick in your neck, but it's better than before? Hey, how do you know? That's right. Su Zicheng muttered softly. After speaking, Su Zicheng directly threw Xiao Jianzhan's head into the trash can in the yard. Ever since seeing Xiao Jianzhan, Su Zicheng's ears are about to grow calluses. After a while, Su Zicheng feels that he has heard all the words he has heard this year. If you were bringing Xiao Jianzhan into the house, then don't sleep tonight. Anyway, the delivery won't be until tomorrow, so let him stay outside overnight. Su Zicheng thought so. Definitely, don't look at the trash cans, Su Zicheng basically doesn't come to the yard therefore There is basically nothing in the trash cans, and the clean ones can definitely be used as dining tables. Thinking about it this way, Su Zaichang isn't targeting the little bitch anymore. Oh shit, you shouldn't have thrown me in the trash can, I hate it here. I remember you, don't wait until I grow out of my body. Hey, no, it's right that you haven't said anything. What trick did you use? Why can't I grow it? Hey, hey, hey. A loud slamming door answered him. When Xiao Jianjian answered Su Zaichang, he had already guessed why Xiao Jianjian hadn't grown yet. Naturally, it was because of the curse poison. The curse blood knife was too buggy. The curse poison on it could suppress even Kunlun's Keel. Therefore, it stands to reason that definitely can also suppress the self-healing super ability of Xiao Jinjian. Definitely, it is only suppression, but it is not fatal, because the ability of purple sweet potato essence and death is still higher than that of Su Zaichang, especially death is the god of creation. They will not let the little bitch die. As far as Su Zaichang's current strength is still, I really can't do anything to him. Su Zaichang understands it this way. The poison of the curse and the curse of the purple sweet potato essence compete with each other and fight against each other, which leads to the reason why Xiao Jianjian doesn't grow a body. However, one ebbs and another grows. After all, the curse poison has left the curse blood knife, and there is no constant supply. So sooner or later, Xiao Jianjian will still be able to grow a body, it's just a matter of time. After some washing, he put the hunter suit into the space, and Yincheng lay down on the bed. Unexpectedly, this 15 billion is too easy to get, it's like a dream, and from taking back Xiao Jianjian's head to lying on the bed, excluding the back and forth travel and nonsense, it only takes a few seconds. Taking his head is as easy as picking up a courier. I thought it would take a lot of effort, because Xiao Jianjian is not afraid of death, so there will be a few rounds of fighting, and I want to see his bullet slashing skills, but I didn't expect that it would be cheaper to kill myself and blow myself up to the side. Su Zaichang. Imagining the 15 billion that will arrive soon, Su Zaichang quietly fell asleep. It's always time to go to bed very quickly. When the first ray of sunlight hit Su Zaichang's face in the morning, he had already woken up. After washing up, without waiting for dinner, Su Zaichang went directly to the backyard to deliver the goods with the head of Xiao Jianjian. One night, Xiao Jianjian's head grew a neck, but it was limited to the neck, not even the shoulders. It can be seen that the curse poison really deserves its reputation. Looking at the invincible talker, Xiao Jianjian, who didn't worry about his own comfort at all, the sound of snoring rattled the trash can. Today's stadium and racecourse are equally quiet. It seems that this guy Jin Bing has been there for several days in a row. No wonder they are so willing to spend 15 billion for just one head. After leaving the yard, the golf course lounge, Bullseye was waiting there early in the morning. When Bullseye raised his head and saw Su Zaichang, his playful expression disappeared instantly, and Su Zaichang could see the black and blue complexion from far away. Damn it, this kid actually killed that guy Deadpool, he should die there. It should be because he had a grudge for disabling his arm last time. Bullseye is extremely resentful towards Su Zaichang. Su Zaichang's mind-reading skills have already seen through Bullseye's thoughts. Hum in my heart, don't let me catch the opportunity, or you will have good fruit to eat. Mr. Su, you are really punctual, leave it to me, and your task will be completed. I scolded Su Zaichang 100 times in my heart, but Bullseye still didn't dare to show it. HMPH, don't forget that I want to see Qian tomorrow. Su Zaichang snorted coldly, and handed Xiaojian to Bullseye. What's the plane, what's the matter, it doesn't make people sleep well in the early morning. The little cheap voice in the cloth bag came out again. Huh. What's going on? In order to confirm whether it is Deadpool, Bullseye opened it and was startled. People are right, but how come they can still speak it with only one head left? What are you looking at, with an arrow target tattooed on your head? You really think you are a bullseye? With a big head and a thick neck, it's either garbage or a chicken. I have given you the head, you only hire me to get his head, and you can handle the rest yourself. Su Zaichang has long been happy in his heart, spending 15 billion to pick up a courier. There are really such stupid people in the world. Don't worry, Mr. Su, in this business, we will definitely keep our word. Saying that, Bullseye held Deadpool's head, turned around and went back. Damn it, you didn't kill this kid, it's really F***ing wrong. You can still scold me when you're left. See how I deal with you when I go back. If you dare to say that I am Bullseye, then I will make you a target today. Bullseye's mind was completely wiped out by Su Zaichang from a distance. It seems that Xiao Jinjian must have a hard time today. You are sexual, right? Okay, I remember you. We will definitely meet again. After a long distance, Xiao Jianjian's voice still yelled out. Su Zaichang believed in this sentence. Little Jianjian's ability. Money really can't do anything to him, maybe he will kill him back. However, Su Zicheng still had a doubt in his heart. Why can't mind-reading skills hear what Xiao Jianjian is thinking? Actually, Su Zicheng was curious last night, because it was the first time he came into contact with a person like Deadpool who escaped from the Marvel world. Su Zicheng also turned the door and used mind-reading to look into his heart, but the result was very unexpected. The omnipotent mind-reading technique encountered Waterloo for the first time. Then use mind control, but when Su Zicheng's mental power hits Xiao Jianjian's head, there seems to be a mysterious force that bounces him away. Su Zicheng has no doubt that if he tries to forcefully explore Xiao Jianjian, the head will definitely explode on the spot. The system setting for mind reading and mind control is that these two skills can only be effective for people of the same level, or people whose strength is lower than the host's original. Does it mean that Deadpool's strength is much higher than that of Su Zicheng? The answer is obviously not. Ding. 105 billion. The ringtone of the text message on the mobile phone interrupted Su Zicheng's thinking. Hey, never mind. Money is what I should think about. Since I can't see Deadpool clearly, let's talk about it later when I have more strength. Su Zicheng lay on the sofa, sipped the Fat House happy water, and said to himself. Unexpectedly, this guy Jin Bing was so efficient, he was much more reliable than black stewed egg. Working with the underworld, the only peace of mind is this. If people want to give it, they will never default on you, and if they don't want to give it, then they must have ideas. For the two kinds of people, Zicheng naturally opened the door to welcome them, and for the other kind, that's what happened. Looking at the dense zeros on the attribute panel, Su Zicheng is still a little troubled. What to do with it? I can't afford good things, I don't need them if they are too expensive, and I can't get into Su Zicheng's eyes if they are too low level. Forget it. Fill your stomach, and think about it when you come back. I went to deliver the goods early in the morning. I haven't eaten yet, so I just went down to buy some bread. Fill up the freezer and be ready for Galley's return. Coincidentally, just after going downstairs, passing by the bowling alley, I bumped into Jin Bin. However, Jin Bin had a vaguely red and swollen face, and a slightly awkward walking posture. It seemed to indicate that something had happened. What a coincidence, Mr. Su, did you receive the money? Jin Zuo is happy. Well, it's just my job. Looking at the row of luxury cars behind Jin Bin, such as Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Maybach, Su Zicheng was really dazzled. It turns out that cars can also be so cool. Are you going to? Oh, move, but don't worry, we will still have opportunities to cooperate. I hope. Oh, by the way, does Mr. Su know something about this daredevil? I don't know, I still have something to do. Farewell. In fact, Su Zicheng has roughly guessed it. If I didn't guess wrong, Daredevil should have fought against Jin. Su Zicheng thought Jin Bing's injury was caused by a little bitch at first, but when Jin Bing said Daredevil's name, the truth was already coming out, and he thought it was because of this that he moved. Su Zicheng thought to himself, he was really lucky. If he was a day or two late, he might not have been fired by Daredevil. I don't know what happened to the little bitch. Lying on the sofa, turn on the TV to see what's the latest news. The fridge has been restocked again. Just eating a piece of steak can be regarded as a breakfast. Su Zicheng held the remote control to find an interesting program. After changing more than a dozen channels, the TV programs of the United States are really boring, either news or rubbish exercises. Anyway, Su Zicheng doesn't like it. Just unpacking a bag of potato chips, the sound from the TV caught Su Zicheng's attention. This is a show that pops up after a commercial. A news interview program. On the TV was actually a shootout scene, Ace Agent Natasha Romanoff, and Captain America wearing a uniform and carrying a star-spangled shield. On the other side was a man with a metal arm covering his face. The two sides are fighting back and forth, and with the strength of Captain America, it is really inconceivable that they can only fight the other side evenly. The opposite side seemed to be menacing, and they had been prepared for a long time. Suddenly, a large truck rushed over directly, and machine guns kept firing. The whole street was filled with smoke from the bombing. Many cars parked on the side of the road were scrapped by two people. Suddenly, there was a click, and the TV was interrupted directly. It should be that the live broadcast reporter fell down. Su Zicheng is no stranger to it. Reporters from the United States have always been like this. Countless reporters are so desperate to make news. Whether you say he is desperate for the truth or for the truth, the reporters of the United States are so crazy anyway. This is the head snake starting to spread too? Looking at the black screen of the TV, Su Zicheng said with a blank expression. Who is the terrorist attacking on the TV? Su Zicheng is very clear. Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier. At the end of World War E, James Barnes, Captain America's assistant and comrade in arms, died in action, but was revived by the Soviet Union's secret scientific organization X Department. After brainwashing, he was transformed into their perfect killer during the Cold War, the Winter Soldier. The current Winter Soldier should be serving Hydra. Chi, don't care what I do, let's see how to spend my money first. System, open the mall, let me look. Look. Fire ability, LV.1. The price is 100,000. It can manipulate flames for a short time. If you use it too much, you will fall into a state of mental exhaustion. After IV.3, you can mobilize air elements to create flames. Water system ability, LV1. The price is 100,000, and it can manipulate the water flow for a short time. If you use it too much, you will fall into a state of mental exhaustion. After IV.3, you can mobilize the air element to create water flow. Sharingan, LV1. The price is 100,000, Insight Eye. Can see clearly the context, see all the subtle movements of the opponent, and Hypnotic Ability Eye. Use illusion to control the opponent, V.3 Evolution for the Kaleidoscope. See-Through Eye. The price is 7 million, which can see through everything, no grades, no matter how strong the host is, the power of the see-through eye will be. Wall penetration. The price is 100,000. Whoa. There are actually quite a variety of things in the mall, but many of them have been found before, and it is really boring to go through it again. For example, these abilities, which Glass used to think were awesome, now seem to be all tasteless, and there is no need to look at them at all. With copying eyes, you can't learn any magic skills, let alone sharing eyes and clairvoyant eyes. Another example is this wall penetration technique, which has teleportation, and is afraid that there will be a wall that cannot be passed. Or let me just go straight through your building. This wall piercing technique is really nothing in front of teleportation. Su Zaichang turned over anxiously, omitting this, and this. System, can you classify it for me, such as weapons, suits, skills, and cheats, so it's convenient for me to look up? It would be great if there is another browsing history, hunter level recommendation, etc. The host gave valuable advice to the system. Didi. What does Didi mean? Su Zaichang was puzzled. It was the first time he saw such a situation in the system. It has been verified that the host's opinion is reasonable and valid, and the system will follow the host's opinion. Please confirm with the host, yes, no upgrade. Nani, upgrade. What the hell is this? 1. Ask me weekly, do you want money? Since the plan was proposed by the host, this upgrade only requires the *** system to automatically determine that the host will receive a 0.1% discount, and the hunter level discount will not be reused. 1 out of 5 gets 5, 2, 5 10, 3 7 21. And another 0.10% off, the total is. Su Zaichang's mind was spinning rapidly, 55.24 billion. At 0.753% off, that's 952.4 million. Look at your own balance, plus the 15 billion Jin Bing just entered, minus the 100,000 spent on buying and tracking paper cranes. There are 20.9524 billion left. What a coincidence, it happened to be the remaining fraction of my balance. Now, Su Zaichang seriously suspects that the system has already taken a fancy to his small change. This is to try to do it. Whether. Facing the system's interrogation again, Su Zaichang definitely and inevitably chose yes. Not to mention what will happen after the upgrade, just this kind of discount makes Su Zaichang very excited. 10% off. Unprecedented. It's a fool not to rise. Sure, 100% sure. Haha. It doesn't matter whether the system is for cheating his change or not. Faced with this situation, he must not be hesitation. After passing this village, there will be no such store. If this is considered cheating money, then let the system cheat a few more times. Come on, Stormy. Besides, the hunter system upgrade is the same as in the game, except that the game upgrade needs traffic, and the hunter system upgrade needs money. This upgrade will take 10 days. During the upgrade period, the system will suspend the shopping mall interface, equipment recovery interface, skill upgrade interface, etc. Only the attribute panel in hunter space will be kept. Yes, no consent of the host. Nani, there is still such a routine. After spending money, you can't do things right away? Yes, no confirmation. Hey, that's right, isn't it just 10 days? Insist on not chopping your hands at the head office for 10 days. It just happened to take the order of gold merger, it's time to rest. Diddy, the system will automatically deduct ** from the upgrade. Hey, wait a minute. What if I receive a task during the upgrade? Does it count? Can it be entered into the system? Ding. A flash of green fluorescent light disappeared from Su Zaichang's face, which probably answered Su Zaichang's question. This he meow is counting or not? Hey, I originally wanted to upgrade my skills and do some shopping. What's the matter? I mentioned it casually, but it was adopted by the system. I don't know what will be different about the hunter system after the upgrade. Su Zaichang glanced at the property panel and shut down the system directly. The current grades are as follows. Host, Su Zaichang. Physical fitness, 325 hunter level. B ability, King Kong's indestructible body vs. .5, swordsmanship LV.4, copy eyes LV.3, absolute hit LV.3, Hawkeye LV.3, mind control LV.4, shadow stealth version 3, mind reading dangerous perception self-healing meditation teleportation, 12/15. Equipment. Hunter suit, plus 2/5, elemental bow, plus 2/5. White snake bow, plus 5, tracking paper cranes, 9, curse blood, knife, plus 10. Mall balance. 20 billion. Seeing that he still had a balance of 20 billion, Su Zaichang suddenly felt more at ease. It's just that this is too tricky. The system has definitely taken a fancy to his change for a long time, and it can't be wrong. These few days are Su Zaichang's rest time. At least this time, Su Zaichang didn't want to take a break. The system upgrade would take 10 days. During this period, even if he took on a task, he had to think clearly, and he couldn't be a coolie for others. With nothing else to do, Su Zaichang took out his mobile phone again, turned on the king of pesticides, and spent some money. He is always so happy when he abuses others. That's it, the first day is over. The next day, I went to the racecourse to run wildly all morning. At noon, I ate horse meat at the racecourse and went directly to the golf course. As the saying goes, dragon meat in the sky, donkey meat on the ground. On the third day, horses and donkeys are also close relatives, and they taste delicious, not to mention delicious. And it's still grilled. Put some chili noodles, cumin powder, and some secret ingredients specially marinated by 5-star hotels. Oh, the taste, the aroma. Eating horse meat at the racecourse is not an ordinary enjoyment. Definitely, this is the back door for Su Zaichang to spend money. He has almost invested hundreds of thousands in the racecourse, and the boss has known Su Zaichang for a long time. If someone else dared to say that he wanted to eat his horse at the racecourse, then it would be good if you can't take care of yourself if you don't fight. Golf is indeed an aristocratic sport. There are so many people on the golf course today. Maybe it's because the golf course was reserved a few days ago, and those who have always wanted to play golf have already had itchy hands. Hey, Su, you're here, hurry up, give me a shot, this guy has to believe it. Far away, the white man who had been playing golf with Su Zaichang when he first moved here shouted at Su Zaichang. Okay, no problem, watch it, little rookie, learn it, I allow you to call my name when pretending in front of others. Oh Shiete, just blow it up, you still want to be my master, I admit that you are amazing, but in front of this person, hee. It was only then that Su Zaichang noticed that there was a big white man standing beside him. Then you look after it, little rookie. As he said that, Su Zaichang took a cue casually, directly made a difficult move, and scored a hole in one. Clap clap. This blow directly caused applause from all the halls, and the number of onlookers suddenly increased. Are you convinced? Ha ha ha. I'll show you another. This time Su Zaichang specifically picked out one of the smallest clubs in the golf club bag. With the magic skill of absolute hit, let alone the smallest club, even if Su Zaichang is given a toothpick, he can still make a hole in one. Sure enough, Su Zaichang pretended to use a lot of strength, and directly killed again with one shot. I'm going, God. As this Chinese kung fu? It's amazing, it's amazing. I've learned a lot, it's the first time I can play golf like this. Death 2. After hitting the ball, Su Zaichang threw the cue, turned around and left. Leaving everyone in place, they kept talking about him. The white man's jaw dropped a long time ago. He only knew that Su Zaichang was powerful before, but he didn't expect that he would hold back and hide his strength. Another invited foreign aide also opened his mouth wide, speechless. When everyone was still discussing that shot enthusiastically, Su Zaichang had already walked to the bowling alley. Conquering everyone present with his astonishing gameplay again, Su Zaichang returned home in the admiring eyes of everyone, like a general returning home after a victorious battle. A perfect day starts with getting up early and ends with a tired body. Although not very tired, not even a warm-up, anyway, people are always happy when they exercise. Moreover, proper exercise can also help sleep. No, Zaichang slept until noon the next day. Today's plan is to go back to school. After not going back to school for so long, Su Zaichang almost forgot that he still has the status of a student. At noon, I will go to the racecourse for a meal. Su Zaichang rushed directly to the school. Passing through Queens, the house that was originally bombed did not know when another one was built. After releasing the mental power, I found some cobweb traces in this area, some steel fragments around the house, and some white cobweb-like things. According to Su Zicheng's judgment, steel is definitely not used for building houses. This kind of strength should be left by Tony, that's right. In the Marvel world, this house can be regarded as left to him by his parents who have never met. After all, it is also his first home, and this is the starting point for Su Zicheng as a bounty hunter. Tony has a heart, and little Spider-Man. Withdrawing my mental strength and returning to school, it happened to be lunchtime after school at noon. Even more coincidentally, I ran into little Spider-Man in the restaurant. Hey, Su Zicheng, it's great that you're still alive. Little Spider-Man saw Su Zicheng appear, and came up with a deep hug. Hey, it's almost done. There are so many people, you are not afraid to see them. Su Zicheng pushed little Spider-Man away in disgust. We are bounty hunters upright, and we will never be gay. Hey, let me tell you a secret. MJ is visiting my house, and Aunt May likes her too. I'll tell you about this, even Ned doesn't know about it. Then congratulations, you are about to have a girlfriend. Hey. When it comes to MJ, the talkative boy, he suddenly becomes a shy boy. By the way, let me treat you to dinner. How about it? You must not have eaten yet. Let's go. Don't, I've eaten, I'll be with you, I'll just watch you eat. Thinking of all kinds of unpalatable meals in the restaurant, Su Zicheng only felt his stomach churn, but luckily he ate some before coming here. As for watching little Spider-Man eat, it's not for flirting, but I have some questions to ask him. Peter, my house. Oh, yes, your house was bombed a few days ago, it scared me to death, I thought you were just. The new house is you. Yeah, yes, and that Iron Man, Tony, we two were quite right-tempered, but the new house is basically his idea, I just started. That's right, as Su Zicheng guessed. I just didn't expect that Spider-Man and Iron Man would hook up so soon. After eating, it's time to go to class. This semester is almost the last semester, and I'm about to graduate. If it wasn't for little Spider-Man's reminder, Su Zicheng really wouldn't know. I skip classes every 3 days, but I can't do anything. If it were in Huasha school, students like Su Zicheng would definitely be in the last row. And the kind that is not seen by teachers and parents. I'll donate a building later. Su Zicheng thought about graduation, but he didn't understand it, so he might as well leave it to the principal, in case he couldn't graduate, it would be ridiculous. His identity will be exposed sooner or later, maybe already, if one day Tony, Thor, and that tough Natasha Romanoff find him and laugh at him about it, it would be a shame. Time at school is always slow. Su Zicheng only listened to it for less than 10 minutes, and his eyelids began to fight. When I opened my eyes, I realized that only 2 classes had passed. The last class is about to end. Suddenly, someone came to the door of Su Zicheng's class during the class. Dang. Excuse me, Su Zicheng from your class, please come out. In the next second, a familiar figure appeared at the door, and Komen called. Huh. Why is she here, me? Su Zicheng once again skipped class in front of the teacher in the eyes of the whole class. It felt so cool, especially in high school. Hey, Su Zicheng, is this your girlfriend? She's so beautiful. Ned at the door secretly tugged at the hem of Su Zicheng's clothes when he passed by, and smiled wretchedly. No matter how you look at that dark and fat face, you feel particularly evil. The person at the door is not familiar to others, but Peter has seen it before. Are you sure you want me? Do I know you? Unexpectedly, the famous bounty hunter is actually a high school student who is still in school. If Tony and those guys find out about this, it will be really breaking news. Are you right, Mr. Su? I didn't expect that you's methods are so stupid, you can find out where I am so quickly, I admire you. The person who came was none other than Natasha Romanoff, one of S top agents, Avengers. I also said that I should be the one who admires it. Mr. Su has such abilities at such a young age. I don't know how many people he admires. Natasha Romanoff first put a tall hat on Su Zicheng, flattered Su Zicheng, and Su Zicheng was extremely comfortable. Tell me, what's the matter? Su Zicheng didn't care that his identity was found out, since it was exposed, there was no way to hide it anymore. Even if you use mind control to erase the memories of Natasha Romanoff, Jin Bing, Bullseye and other people who know Su Zicheng's true identity, there is no guarantee that the hand will have a backup of your own information. Now that you have found it, you can simply follow the steps. Let's go. Nick Fury dead knife. When it came to business, Natasha Romanoff suddenly became serious. I didn't expect, the director, Black Corned Egg, died? Su Zicheng also said with emotion, but the slightly raised corners of his mouth seemed to indicate that he knew something. Su Zicheng is now making small calculations in his heart. 1. Since the identity has been exposed, why not take advantage of this opportunity? Identity exposure can be both good and bad. Fortunately, it was convenient for the person who hired him. The bad thing is that there will definitely be some friends, or people who see him unhappy to make trouble. And once the real name is announced, troubles will definitely follow in the future. Second, since Natasha Romanoff came to him, Su Zicheng should be able to earn some extra money this time if he knew that he played well. So, what does his death have to do with me? I didn't kill him at. Mr. Su didn't expect you to be quite humorous in reality. Since I came to you on behalf of, you must have guessed my reason for coming. I don't know why, but everyone has one Mr. Su, and Mr. Hunter. Su Zicheng, who was wearing a hunter suit, didn't feel that there was anything. Why was it so embarrassing in reality? Could it be that you want me to save people? I don't have that ability, I can only kill people. Su Zicheng definitely guessed the reason for Natasha Romanoff's visit, but she still refused directly. Now the system is still upgrading, who knows if the task will be entered into the system now. Mr. Su don't need to hide it, Tony told me, you can save Happy, you can cure Pepper's poison, and of course you can save Nick Fury's life. Tony sent you to find me. He knows who I am. If it was Tony, Su Zicheng really thought about it. For no other reason, he built a house for himself, so Su Zicheng would have to repay this favor no matter what. Although as a qualified bounty hunter, this kind of emotion should be absolutely eliminated, it should be killed in the cradle. However, isn't it time to talk to Natasha Romanoff as a normal person? Now it's just that Su Zicheng is not a bounty hunter. Definitely don't know. Mr. Su's identity is the top secret of. Except for me and Nick Fury, no one else has read this document. This is what Nick Fury specifically ordered. It seems that the black marinated egg is quite thoughtful. In case Su Zicheng doesn't want to reveal his identity, if he knows that has investigated his identity, then there is no guarantee that one day when the lights are dark, Su Zicheng will wipe out the entire by himself. This is also the reason why Natasha Romanoff invited Su Zicheng as a last resort. Natasha Romanoff agent, you also know my rules. Su Zicheng began to act on his own calculation. It's easy to say, as long as Mr. Su can save Nick Fury, like Tony, Tian Yi. Oh. Goodbye. Originally, Su Zicheng thought, just like Tony, 2 billion would be 2 billion. It was all a favor. Unexpectedly, this Natasha Romanoff actually learned from the black corned egg, this old fox. 1 billion is too little for you. How about 2 billion? HMPH, do you think in your heart, if 2 billion is not enough, then add another 1 billion, a high school student will definitely be tempted when faced with so much money. You, how do you know? After hearing Su Zicheng's analysis, Natasha Romanoff was stunned. This is exactly what I thought. You are a roundworm. 1. Why is a high school student so cunning? Can I see through your mind? Ha, it's my fault. I shouldn't speculate on Mr. Su, my fault, 5 billion, it's an apology. Then I will reluctantly accompany you for a walk. Su Zicheng has seen through her mind again. 5 billion is already beyond the best budget black braised egg gave her. Originally, Natasha Romanoff planned to get the 2 billion directly like Tony, but she just didn't want to make a fuss. The excess of 3 billion may make Natasha Romanoff have a taste of the dirt. Remember to dry the soil in the sun, so that you can still feel the warmth of life when you eat it. What? Oh, it's okay, I suddenly thought of a word. After speaking, Su Zicheng himself was happy. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Su Zicheng followed Natasha Romanoff to the place where the black stewed egg body was parked. This is an ordinary house, it must have been specially arranged by the black marinated egg. But people who were ambushing outside could be vaguely seen. These people should be Hydra people. It seems that even after death, Hydra is still not at ease with black marinated eggs. Since the home of the black corned egg is here, according to the urine property of the black corned egg, a certain mysterious entrance should also be nearby. Pushing open the innermost door, the body of black braised egg was lying on a mortuary bed. Coming. Unexpectedly, there was another person in the room, and it was actually Captain America. Captain America also seems to have changed his mind about Su Zicheng since the last alien war. After all, his strength is there. Even if Captain America is unhappy seeing him, there is nothing he can do. He didn't recognize Su Zicheng because Su Zicheng was wearing a hunter suit. Is saving him a deal? Right. Natasha Romanoff said eagerly. In fact, they were quite confused. In the melee, Nick Fury died like this. Only one U-disc is left. When of course, both Natasha Romanoff and Captain America knew what was inside. Okay. Stop pretending, get up. Su Zicheng came directly to the black marinated egg and said calmly. However, there was no response. Hey, you're still addicted to acting, aren't you? Seeing that the black stewed egg still didn't move, Su Zicheng directly summoned flames and threw it on the forehead of the black stewed egg, and the bald head instantly caught fire. Oh shit, damn it, Who woke me up, Fox Squid? Fuck. Well, why are you? Seeing Nick Fury jump up suddenly, Natasha Romanoff and Captain America were stunned. From Su Zicheng's first sentence just now, they were taken aback. They just wanted to stop Su Zicheng's movement, but they had no idea Nick Fury really came back to life. It looks like he took inferior fake death medicine. Su Zicheng saw that the black marinated egg was really funny, so he extinguished the fire casually. Black braised eggs probably wanted to use suspended animation to make the undercover agents relax their vigilance, and then Natasha Romanoff, the captain of the United States, was in charge of killing them all. Natasha Romanoff was really dead. This is also the reason why Su Zicheng couldn't wake him up just now, but he was able to wake him up with the pain nerve. After all, for Natasha Romanoff and their director, they dare not do anything to the body of black braised egg. Su Zicheng suddenly laughed in his heart. Although the system can no longer rely on loopholes to make money, Su Zicheng can find flaws and bugs in the plot by relying on himself as a time traveler and his understanding of the plot of the Marvel world. But it's much easier. I hope it will not be patched by the system again. Huh. What's going on? Pay for everything. What, Mr. Hunter? Why are you rebelling? Definitely is here to save lives. Don't rush to transfer money this time. Just transfer to my account after 10 days. What? What money to play? Who to save? Natasha Romanoff, what's going on? The black stewed egg has a confused face. He is not dead. Don't tell me he just set fire to my head and was cheated out of billions. Director, this. 5 billion. You see. Shiete, another 5 billion. You might as well let me die. My high blood pressure is coming up. Seeing the black stewed egg getting so angry, Su Zicheng also wanted to laugh a little. Indeed, this is too funny. At this moment, black braised egg is quite exciting in his heart. Mr. Hunter, look, I'm not dead yet. There is a problem with this mission originally, look. Nick Fury didn't dare to say it out of his mouth even though he was unwilling to do so. He had to respectfully call Mr. Hunter and beg Su Zicheng to waive the fee. Don't come here, I have principles, you can't lose any points, otherwise don't blame me for not giving you face. Su Zicheng is very clear, this black stewed egg is really good. 5 billion, he can definitely get it, but it will only hurt for a while. Now, Black Braised Dan is thinking in his heart, relying on so many employment relationships, playing the emotional card, and making a bitter plan. Maybe the bounty hunter is not willing to lose this long-term partner and give up the 5 billion in front of him. Definitely, in the face of mind-reading skills, there is really nowhere to hide from this little trick of Black Braised egg. Besides, if the money in my pocket can be given to you, it won't work. Seeing the completely ruthless bounty hunter, Black Braised Dan scolded again in his heart. Such a small boy. Why is he so greedy for money? Is this guy burning money for fun? Damn. A high school student has such a great ability. When I was in high school, I couldn't even solve a mathematical equation. His grandma's. Hey, forget it, admit it. Maybe it will be useful to him in the future. It is unwise to offend the eternal interests of 5 billion. Besides, Hydra has infiltrated, and a bad battle is about to start. Black Braised egg is really worthy of being able to sit in the position of director. He can think so much at this moment. Why? Have you thought about it? Mr. Hunter, I admit it. The 5 billion is all for tuition fees. In order to make you a friend, I am willing to pay. When saying this, Nick Fury also deliberately pretended to have a very difficult choice. However, no matter how you looked at that dark face, it was as ugly as eating a dead bat. That's fine. Oh, by the way, can you find out your undercover spies? The expression of the black stewed egg, Su Zicheng can understand best. What is for deep friendship, not for the better use of me in the future. As for why he suddenly asked this question, Su Zicheng still had other ideas. Hey, don't talk about it. I finally thought of this trick of feigning death. I wanted to lure the snake out of the hole and draw the bottom line, but in the end I caught a few small characters. Now there must be Hydra in. Their goal should have been achieved. Then if you say, I can help you find out the undercover agent, how will you repay me? Mr. Hunter is really powerful, but I'm afraid that you helped us find out the undercover agent, and it's already too late. Maybe some secrets have been leaked. Then do you want to help or not? Su Zicheng further lured. This, to be honest, Nick Fury definitely wanted to find out the undercover agent, but firstly, the asking price of the bounty hunter was too high, which was really unacceptable, and secondly, if this Hydra undercover agent was not eliminated, his position as SHIELD director was not secure, and he could not let it go at all. Open hands and feet. It seems that life is exposed to the eyes of others. It's really uncomfortable. And the third point, if Hydra has already taken what they want and left, then the money will not be worth the candle, right? I don't know, Mr. Hunter. You can see if you can waive the shooting fee this time. You see, you saved me without any effort, and you got 5 billion for nothing, so. Stop. First, this is the task you gave me, and I will proceed according to the task. Second, to complete the task, you should pay me the 5 billion. If it doesn't exist, I will get it for nothing. Third, you can consider no, but you can imagine the consequences yourself. Then you can make a price. Just tell me who the undercover agent is, and leave the rest to us. Can it be cheaper? After careful consideration, Nick Fury still felt that it would be more appropriate to catch all these people. If you want to know who the undercover is, it's simple. Let me add another billion. I'll tell you a few people. They are definitely the existence of the bosses in Hydra. If you can catch them and figure out the purpose of Hydra, then the rest is up to you. 10. 1 billion. You still. Hey, forget it. Just count as you said, and hire you once. Happy. It's been a pleasure working with you. After speaking, Su Zaicheng released the photos that he had prepared in advance. Looking at the past, there is a man with a cropped head who should be a special soldier, and a man with a bald head and glasses. Isn't it the group of people in the elevator who are carrying the Mind Gem Scepter? Mr. Hunter, these, you don't carry them with you, don't you expect that I will hire you? These people are all the leaders of Hydra lurking in. Now the task is completed, and the rest is up to you. Don't forget that I will see the information that the money has arrived in 10 days. Su Zaicheng directly chose to avoid the problem of black marinated eggs. Can't you tell him directly that I'm here to cheat you, just to get your money? After speaking, Su Zaicheng strode towards the outer door. When Natasha Romanoff, Captain America, looked at the door, Su Zaicheng had already disappeared. An hour later, Su Zaicheng was already lying on the bed.